Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat here, back again with another brand new video, and today I will be reaching round 50 in Kino der Toten. If I'm saying that right, it is a German title which translates to Theater of the Damned. If I'm also right about that, I'm not 100% sure. But round 1, the strategy, we're just going to knife everyone. And I'm going to go for quick revive immediately at the start. Don't worry, I won't be going down till way later in the video. Though, I guess spoiler alert, I will be going down. If you check the time codes of my video, I actually kind of lay out the plan I follow throughout this video. And like the plan I follow to reach round 50, kind of the whole strategy, the build up, and pretty much just what I do for nearly 2 hours later on. Y'all are going to, go through that entire process throughout this 2 hour and 55-minute video, which this isn't a great time for round 50. I've seen a lot of people who have reached round 50 in like an hour 30, hour 50, 2 hours 55 is a bit much. There were a couple sections I could have done a little faster, but hey, it is my first time attempting a sort of challenge like this, and it is something I kind of wanted to do given that Call of Duty Black Ops, it holds a bit of a special place in my heart. It's a childhood game. Probably the first mature game I ever owned for my Xbox 360. Well, owned isn't really the right word. To explain how I acquired Black Ops, I kind of have to go on a bit of a history lesson. Blockbuster Video, back when that used to exist, I really wanted Call of Duty Black Ops, so I rented it from Blockbuster with my mother. However, since this game came out in like 2010, I believe I was either 10, 9, or 11, one of those ages, and my mother was not happy about it. So like I owned the game for like a week, and then my mom was like, "Nah, we gotta give it back," and I was not happy about that. And then like 3 or 4 years later, then I actually owned the game. But just crazy history. Like, there's like mature games that I really wanted to play, but I was like young enough, but young enough to recognize that I was not allowed to play them, but old enough to recognize. There was a different way I wanted to phrase that. Like, I was old enough to recognize that it probably wasn't a good idea to play them at that age, but like young enough to recognize that when I grow older, I want to get those games. And the first two games which I recognize like that would be the House of the Dead 2 and 3 like Wii Edition collection, which I do now own, and I kind of want to make a video on that sometime later. And the other game was God of War 2, because I saw my cousin play that game, and well, my God of War 2 all bosses like no damage video, that will come out, I don't know when, but it's the next video I plan on making, once this commentary video is uploaded. And hey, it is uploaded. Though, to be fair, I might be making another video before the God of War 2 all bosses like no damage video, but it won't be a no damage video. It'll be a video talking about movies, and you'll see more what I mean when we get there. But Call of Duty Black Ops did become one of those games, probably like the third game. I think it was just like, it was a mix of a lot of things. Some things normal, some things embarrassing and like regrettable, but they did happen, and I'll go over them briefly. However, I did play this on the Xbox 360. This footage is recorded from an Xbox 360 at 1080p 60 FPS, and my Premiere is not happy about it. Like, at first, I actually like recorded the video onto my hard drive just because the original recording of this no damage attempt is 66 gigabytes. It's massive. Like, I couldn't just record that straight onto my laptop. I only had like 78 gigabytes, so it was gonna like destroy the whole thing. If I was doing the recording and like putting that video onto my laptop, not a hard drive, there was a possibility that the video would become too big and the run would be like ruined because the recording became too big, and I didn't want to risk that. So instead, I recorded onto a hard drive which had around like 400, 500 gigabytes of free space, and hey, it worked out. However, editing on that hard drive, very bad. It's like, it stutters all the time. In fact, for this commentary video, what I have to do is actually took the no commentary version, which I trimmed just to make it like a no commentary version, which will be the video that's uploaded before this commentary video. I actually did put that on my desktop. My desktop at this exact moment has like 16 gigabytes. I'm actually hoping that this commentary version, like, it's gonna be the same length, it's gonna be the same video, but I hope it's like, less, because I don't know, when you're recording stuff with like Game Capture HD, like the Elgato software, like there's a ton of gigabytes because it's like the best quality, but when you export it in like Premiere, like you lose a lot of those gigabytes just because I think like the way I export those videos, like they just optimize more, like I just kind of optimize it like in an H.264 like time code, and that just, it's not going to be 66 gigabytes, though it's still going to be a good chunk of gigabytes, because it is still like a 2 hour and 55 minute video at 1080p 60 FPS. and with commentary, but it will be less than the original recording, that I can promise you. And I've just been talking and not like elaborating at all on what I was doing in these first 4 rounds. I kind of put it in the time codes to kind of make sense, but my plan in those first 4 rounds is to stay in that first room. But my plan for round 5 here is to get the MP40 here, and neat detail I didn't notice before, but on the gun, like, you know, near like the bottom of the gun that is visible, MP40 is actually like etched into the gun. I don't know, I think that's neat. Like, I like that the gun names itself. I don't think all the guns in this game do that. Like, the ray gun doesn't do that, though, to be fair. The ray gun is like so like unlike anything else in the game that it doesn't really need like any further elaboration. The shape of it is enough to know that it's the ray gun. But yeah, my plan for the first like 4 rounds. So round 1, you know, get quick revive and then knife every single zombie. And then for round 2, with those points that you've built up, you can buy the M14. We're never gonna buy the Olympia. You know, fuck the Olympia, alright? I hope that doesn't demonetize the video. I think there's like a rule where if you swear in the first like 8 minutes, the video gets demonetized. But you know, so like second round, pretty much empty 1 clip into a zombie and then knife them. It usually takes 2 knives, so if the zombie hasn't like crossed the window here yet, you know, hasn't crossed the barrier, then, you know, give him 2 knives. But once the enemy's like out and about, then just, you know, shoot him like with 1 clip of the pistol, then knife them. Once you run out of ammo with the pistol, then start going to town with the M14. And then for round 3, once again, just kind of same thing, go to town with the M14 in that 1 room. Round 4, go to town with the M14. However, there's going to be a lot more zombies. You might enter a little bit of a training situation, small train. So, you know, be careful. You could die. Honestly, I've had some pretty like dumb downs while like doing some practice rounds, while doing some failure rounds. Like I do have quick revive, but if I go like down, like, you know, before like round 9 or 10, I just give up on like the, you know, the run. I'm like, you know what? I failed too early. Like this is not going to reach round 50, right? So, but yeah, no, and then after round 4, like once you reach round 5, like that could be a dog round. However, it was not here. In this little like setup, the dog round is actually in like, you know, round 7, but it could be in round 5, round 6, or round 7. But the plan which I have kind of works regardless of when the dog round happens. But basically, in this run, round 5, we get the MP40, and if you don't have enough points to like turn on the power, then just stay in that little room I stayed in and just kind of go to town. The MP40 is very powerful in these early rounds, so that'll pretty much keep you safe. You know, just kind of be aware of your situation, you know, watch your corners, you know, all that, so on and so forth. And, you know, once you reach round 6, you can, if you haven't turned on the power yet, turn on the power. And basically, most of this video we're going to be training around this theater. I mean, that's not the only thing we're going to be doing, but it will always be a part of the strategy. Like, no matter what strategy I'm doing, I will be training around this theater. I spent so many hours just running in circles around this theater, trying to gather as many zombies as possible, and then just going to town here, or leading them into another room, which, well, I'll elaborate on that later once we actually get to that point. But now that we're in this situation where I've turned on the power and I'm kind of training zombies, you know, just killing them, you know, training, killing, like the MP40 is pretty much going to be good until like round 9 and a little bit beyond. But, you know, like after round 9, you kind of want to like start really prepping, like, you know, your game for the rest of your like round 50 run per se. But the mission I have in mind right now is to pretty much get my perks, and the perks which I want are Jugger-Nog. I actually did not know it was Jugger-Nog. I actually thought this was always called Jugger-Not, but no, it's called Jugger-Nog because it's like a eggnog. I never noticed that until I was actually like, you know, making this video and like putting into the time code, like what do I call this, like, you know, getting the Jugger-Not? No, it's Jugger-Nog. And mind you, it's just because I don't read and I just go to the machine and get it. But yeah, once I get Jugger-Nog, I then want to get Speed Cola. Once I have my Quick Revive, Jugger-Nog, and then Speed Cola, then I shift into like the next phase of my plan. But right now we've entered the dog round. And at this point in time, the MP40 is a really good weapon for the dog round. However, I'm just going to camp here. There's a really good place to camp because when the dogs show up, they'll be like decently far away from you where you can land a lot of really good shots before they're all up in your face like this. Like, if you do not have Jugger-Nog by the time you reach the dog round, you really do not want the dogs in your face like that. So that camping spot is really good for just, you know, taking out the dogs and all that. And also another thing, if you're training in this theater and you don't have Jugger-Nog, just like remember, you're still mortal, all right? Like, you know, once you get Jugger-Nog, you're kind of a superhero, kind of Captain America, but before then, you're still mortal. 2 hits will down you. Do not get careless, because honestly, I've had a lot of situations where when training in the theater, I start getting a little risky in the way I get risky, like, later on while having Jugger-Nog. But if you do not have Jugger-Nog, play it more safe. I implore you, you are still mortal. So that's just very important to remember, you know, like you still have to like run very fast, you know, like don't get too risky with it until you get that perk. So yeah, I just connected that machine. However, we won't be connecting the other part, which actually turns it on, until like round 26 for a specific reason with a specific strategy. But I'm not going to go into that strategy just yet because I'm not going to do that strategy until later on. I'm still in my setup phase. Because right now in this round 8, I still have to get points to get the speed cola. And once I get the speed cola, I move on to the next phase of my plan, which will still involve routing this, you know, training this stage, you know, running this little circle, getting as many zombies into like one area, and then unloading on them. That's pretty much the plan until I'm all set up. And then once I'm all set up, I'll transition into what I'm going to do for the rest of this video. But the thing I was talking about with the dogs, one place you do not want to camp is near the Jugger-Nog machine, because I've had some failures where I didn't have Jugger-Nog, and I decided during the dog round, you know what, I'm going to camp near the Jugger-Nog machine, you know, why not? And then I figured out why, because like that area like leaves you very cramped for when the dogs actually show up, because once they're actually like in your field of vision, they're like too close to actually like take advantage of, you know, shooting them from far away, and they just start damaging you, and then they like, you know, pack in on you, you know, like 2 dogs all at once, like gnawing at you while you don't have Jugger-Nog, and then you just die. I've had that happen to me, so just don't repeat my mistake unless you have the Thundergun, because basically once you have the Thundergun, like the dog rounds become pretty much easy as hell and like not even an issue, as long as you do have enough Thundergun ammo. But if you don't, well, you know, pray for your soul that you pretty much like lost the game, kind of, but you can kind of make do with a good weapon, maybe a ray gun or something. But another thing I wanted to mention is that this video in particular is kind of a unique new thing for my channel, because most of my like, you know, long form commentary, no commentary videos are based around no damage. You know, I'll do a game, I'll do all the boss fights in it without taking damage, or I'll play through the entire game without taking damage. However, this is the first time where no damage is not the objective of this video, because doing no damage in this zombies mode in Black Ops is basically impossible. Hey look, I just took damage, see? It's basically impossible because the way you play, you kind of have to like run past zombies in very tight corridors and kind of maybe take a hit once or twice, you know, not too many times, because with Juggernaut you can basically take like 4 hits from the normal zombies, and from like the crawlers here I think you can take maybe like 5 or 6 hits, but you know, don't test it, you know, don't take more hits than you need to, and pretty much once you take those hits you go down. So like that's how you play zombies. Just like the way like hit detection works in this game, like no damage just is not viable, and it's just not recommended, and you don't really need to do it. Just, you know, get hit as little as possible, but you're gonna take like a swipe here and there, just depending. Like just it's just the way the game's designed. So, but I still really wanted to make a video on like a zombies mode in like the Call of Duty games, because I really love this mode. Mind, I just have a lot of nostalgia for like Black Ops and Black Ops 2 zombies. I've played it a lot with my friends. Just, you know, really great times had on Xbox Live, Xbox 360, and also just locally, because those games actually have split screen. However, the split screen in Black Ops 1 is a little sad because it only allows for 2 players. So pretty much you, another player, and no more screens for you. 4-player split screen was not allowed until Black Ops 2. However, a 4-player split screen on Black Ops 2 and the Xbox 360 made the game run like shit, but man, that didn't really matter. We were all having a blast anyways. Like fun times over at my homies' houses and all that, just like playing Town, Transit, not much farm. It was mostly like Town and Transit. We didn't really buy any of the DLC maps. And also, I never owned Black Ops 2. It was my friends that would own that game. But yeah, no, really fun times, and it makes me hate the PC versions of like Black Ops and Black Ops 2, kind of. Well, not so much Black Ops 1, but definitely Black Ops 2. Okay, so Black Ops 1 on PC, no split screen whatsoever. Kind of sad, but whatever. At least you could like play a solo mode offline. Black Ops 2, however, in order to play a solo round of zombies, you have to be online all the time. There is not like I swear the only mode that's like allowed to be played like offline is the campaign, but zombies, nope, you need to be online. Like that's bullshit. Honestly, I got Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 because I kind of wanted to run zombies on my Steam Deck while I was flying on a plane. Well, that is impossible to do with fucking Black Ops 2 because you need an internet connection. And like, I mean, I just fucking hate Activision, man. Activision, the prices they're selling Call of Duty games on Steam is fucking highway robbery. Okay, like Black Ops 1 maybe not so bad, though maybe it was that bad because I got it for like $20, though it may or may not have been on sale. I think Black Ops 1 is $20, and frankly, all the old Call of Duty games should be $20. But I look at Black Ops 2, and I don't know if this has changed recently, but when I got it, it was $40 fucking dollars. That game is over a decade old. Alright, that game came out in 2012. You could pick up an Xbox 360 copy for like $3 on eBay. That shit should not be $40 on PC. They are fucking robbing us. And like what's even worse is that doesn't even take into account that the games don't even come with the DLC. Like especially with zombies, because you just buy zombies normally. Black Ops 1 you only get like 2 maps and Dead Ops Arcade. You still need to drop more bands to get the fucking maps. So it's like fucking they're selling the games on Steam for like fucking highway robbery prices, and you still have to pay for the DLC. It pisses me off, but like I really want my fucking zombies, man. Like, oh my goodness, man. Activision is the fucking worst. But anyways, let me get back to the game here. I have Speed Cola. My next strategy is pretty much hitting the mystery box until I get the Thundergun, because basically the whole setup I need Thundergun, and then once I have Thundergun, I'm going to transition over. Okay, but one thing you could do is you could get the crossbow and then pack a bunch of the crossbow, and once you pack a bunch of the crossbow, you don't need monkey bombs anymore, because the crossbow pretty much acts like a monkey bomb every time you shoot it. The pack-a-punch version. Pretty much every time you shoot it, the zombies will be like directed towards it. However, one thing I don't like about the crossbow is that like pretty much the monkey bomb, you throw it and it distracts the zombies for like a good, good amount of seconds, but the crossbow, it distracts them for a lot less seconds. However, the crossbow does have more ammo than the monkey bomb, and one great combination is that you can get the monkey bomb and the crossbow. You can get both weapons, and you just have maximum distraction in case you don't want to learn how to train a room, and that is something which I do in this video, because I guess maybe now is a good time to get into just the whole strategy of the video, something which, well, if I'm going to get into the whole strategy of the video, I think it is important to mention a couple YouTubers that I like their strategies really helped me like make this round 50 video. So there's this thing called the No Nova strategy, and I've pretty much figured this out because of iFusion7, who has pretty much made a tutorial of how to reach round 50 in Black Ops 1 Zombies. He made a video where it's like, best tech in 2020, and then he made like a follow-up video when he learned of the No Nova strategy. But what the No Nova strategy is, like the Novas are kind of like the little crawly zombies, I guess that's what they're called. I'm not sure if Nova is their full name or if they're literally just called Nova. But the strategy is basically, you're going to need to get a Thundergun, and once you have the Thundergun, what you need to do, hey, I got the Monkey Bomb. Honestly, it's very good to get the Monkey Bomb, because that's also a very rare drop sometimes. Like, sometimes it just never shows up. But yeah, one of the things you need to do is never open the door right in front of me. If you want to train in this little theater area, just never open that door. That door like fucks you up all the time. Never open it. Honestly, if you're playing around and you're not set up and the mystery box like teleports into that room, just give up. Like start a new game. Like it's not worth it unless you're like willing to not do this strategy to round 50, without the Thundergun. Like this map without Thundergun is painful and like will take 10, 11 hours. And hey, some people have the time to do that. The people that get to round 100, the reason I settled on round 50 is that it would be long enough to be a substantial commentary video, but not so fucking long as like a round 100 where doing commentary would like destroy my lungs, Because like, what am I going to talk about for 12 hours? I mean, hey, I've done it before. I've done the Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain videos, but I split that up into 3 parts. So each video is 4 hours at max, So round 100 I'm probably never going to do unless it's like special circumstances where like the map is just really easy, or like it just gets really, like round 100 is like really quick and like, in 2 hours or something. But for the most part, I'm going to stick with like round 50s if I do continue with like, doing these like zombie videos. But yeah, okay, let me get back to the strategy. So it all revolves around the fire trap in the room that's in spawn, but for the no Nova strategy, once you turn on the power, never enter the spawn room again. Like, you can still enter like the little hallway, like the little place that's like underneath like the upper section of the first spawn room, but never enter the spawn room again. Just go into like the little room that you can unlock that has the fire trap, because that's going to be essential for pretty much this entire run. Because what you do, the way the strategy works is that, okay, first get set up with your perks, right? You know, get your quick revive, get like your Jugger-Nog, get your speed cold, and once you get those, get the Thundergun, and then once you have the Thundergun, you know, that's going to be one of your main weapons, one of the weapons that you're always going to have with you, because, you know, it's just a good get out of jail free card, and also a way to deal with dog rounds. And your second weapon is going to be the MPL. I think that's what it's called. It's in the fire trap room. And the reason we're going to use that weapon isn't really to kill zombies, though to be fair, in these early rounds, it is decent at killing zombies, though it does run out of ammo very quickly. But we're not really using it to kill zombies. We're using it to build points, because it's very fast at shooting. And once you're like emptied the entire clip and you're completely empty out of ammo, buying ammo again for it is very cheap. And you'll probably earn more points by the time you're buying more ammo for it. And you don't really need to rely on shooting the zombies anyways, except for getting points, because in the later rounds of zombies, like, honestly, any automatic weapon just doesn't kill zombies at all, and, you know, just, like, give up. Honestly, most weapons besides the Thundergun just don't kill zombies in, like, the later rounds. Like, that's not how you kill them. You kill them using traps, and pretty much the way the no-Nova strategy works is pretty much like a quicker version of the fire trap strategy. And I haven't even explained any of the strategies. I hope y'all are understanding what I'm talking about. But basically, what you want to do is you want to train on the theater area here, get a good number of zombies, you know, get to a point where they aren't, like, spawning, you know, there's not zombies coming forward to you, like, you know, you pretty much, like, spawned all the zombies behind you. And once that's happened, pretty much you run down the hallway, you go into the fire trap room, you wait for the zombies to pull up, and then you, like, activate the fire trap and get into, like, a specific, like, you know, position where every time the zombies, like, come towards you, they'll just get killed by the fire trap no matter what. So you pretty much do that, and that pretty much, like, makes rounds go by very quickly. And the reason you don't want to enter the spawn room again is because if you enter the spawn room again after you turn on the power, then more Nova crawlers will spawn, and with Nova crawlers, like, spawning, it just makes the rounds go longer. So the no Nova strategy is just a way to just be more quick with, like, ending the rounds and all that. So I'm going to attempt I'm pretty much going to be doing the no Nova strategy for up to round 26, because, well, the thing with the no Nova strategy is that you do kind of run to a point where you kind of have to abandon it, because doing the no Nova strategy basically means abandoning Pack-a-Punch, abandoning getting quick revive again. So if you go down and then you get revived by the quick revive you got in the beginning, but, you know, you want to get it again, you have to go back into the spawn room. If you want to use the Pack-a-Punch machine, you have to go back into the spawn room. So once you reach that point, you might as well just go back into the spawn room, but take advantage of the no Nova strategy for as long as you can, or maybe for your entire run. But if you ever do reach a point where you need to abandon it just to Pack-a-Punch a weapon or get quick revive, do it, because that is what I do. And, like, I'm talking about stuff that's, like, way in the future, and I haven't even fully finished explaining the no Nova strategy or the fire trap strategy. But basically, the way the fire trap strategy works is, you know, fire trap, you know, you get into the position, and then once the fire trap runs out, one way to deal with it is to train the room, but I have no idea how to train that fire trap room. So what I do instead is I either rely on the Thundergun to get out of that room or the Monkey Bomb. Honestly, I'm very lucky I got the Monkey Bomb this early, because it is something which I heavily depend on, because it's a really good way to escape that room with the Monkey Bomb. Because one bad thing about the Monkey Bomb is that if you misuse it, if you throw it, like, in an awkward area, then, like, the zombies will be distracted, but they might end up, like, accidentally making a wall so you can't escape the room if you just place it in the wrong area. However, I have a really good area to throw the Monkey Bomb in where that just never happened to me. And be warned, the Monkey Bomb sometimes glitches out and the zombies don't get distracted by it. So, you know, don't be too gung-ho about leaving, but still, you know, be attentive, you know, pay attention to your surroundings. And also, I guess another very important thing about the fire trap room, hey, I'm about to open it right now. It's just, you know, I keep mentioning this fire trap room. This is the room. This is the room you can enter. So you can enter this little hallway. You can enter this room, but you can't enter the spawn room again unless you want to abandon the no Nova strategy. So, like, the spawn room is the place behind me. So do not enter that room again if you want to continue with the no Nova strategy. But yeah, we're going to be revisiting that room a lot. And hey, here's the MPL, if that's what the weapon is called. This is pretty much your main two weapons. Thundergun, MPL. However, I'm going to do a little bit of a divergence and grind for the Mule kick now. Why am I grinding for the Mule kick? Because I did not want to make a zombies video without including the ray gun somehow. Even though the ray gun isn't that useful for high round strategies, it kind of makes things slower and also just does not kill up to like a certain round. But it's an awesome weapon. I love it. I don't care if it's like technically not that useful. I love that weapon to death. It is such a cool weapon. I have so many memories of that weapon. I love that weapon. I love that weapon so much. Like, I have to include it in this video somehow, and it doesn't stick with me for the whole video, but it does stick with me for a good chunk of this video. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, no. So pretty much I'm going to get Mule Kick, and honestly, like, yeah, I'm just grinding for points here to get Mule Kick, and once I get Mule Kick, I'm going to get my third weapon for the mystery box, which will be the ray gun. However, if you don't want to get the ray gun, you could just get Mule Kick just to get another weapon. And a good strategy to do is, you know, get Mule Kick and then just get an automatic weapon just to like get more points during the fire trap thing, because while you have the fire trap activated, you can shoot the zombies that are running to their death to the fire trap just to get points. Like, you know, you're not... The shots you're firing aren't killing them, but they are giving you a ton of points, and you are going to need to have a good bank of points to do the fire trap like strategy in the first place, because every time you activate the fire trap, it costs 1,000 points. So you do need to like grind and get a ton of points in order to just constantly be doing that, you know, and also you need to be constantly rebuilding those points so that you don't run out of points. You don't want to be in the awkward situation where you don't have enough points to activate the fire trap, and then like you're trapped in the fire trap room, you feel me? Like, the quickest way to do the fire trap, like, strategy is to train in the fire trap room, but I don't know how to train in the fire trap room, so I'm just doing the theater training, which I'm more accustomed to. And I do wish I had a way to explain how theater training works, but I don't really know if I'm a good teacher for that. But basically, it is just kind of running around in circles here. You know, you run around here, here, here. You do like these big loops in order to like draw in the most amount of zombies. You could do like a smaller half circle loop by going in the middle there. But, you know, you'll just have to do like more circles in order to like draw in more zombies. And just the way to train is, it is basically just running in circles, but you kind of have to like run in circles, but also have a certain rhythm to it. Basically, like, you'll be running in circles, but then there'll be like 3 zombies trying to approach you from the front. You kind of have to like find an opening between one zombie that's running. Maybe like there's like a gap between like behind the two of them. So you run in between that gap. You know, sometimes you're sprinting, sometimes you're not. You're kind of walking when you're in a safe area. But then when you see the opportunity, you sprint past the zombie. And one thing that's really great about the MPL here is that it's a very light gun, so you move like the fastest with it. I don't know if there's a weapon where you move faster with it. Okay, probably like the knife. There's like a knife that you can like shoot. It's like a ballistic knife or something, and it has the property of like being able to shoot a projectile. You probably run the fastest with that, but the MPL is a great runner-up. You run very fast with this weapon, so this weapon is also great just for like running trains, because like the thing about training in this game is that it's not really about killing the zombies, just about getting a huge group. So you don't even need to fire any shots. However, throughout this video, I will be doing this thing where I gather a bunch. You see what I did right there? There was 2 zombies. It was like, oh, they're approaching me. How do I avoid this? I kind of moved to the left. I kind of tried to draw them there, and then I immediately ran to the right. You have to be making those sort of maneuvers. You need to sort of get like a rhythm from doing those maneuvers. So, you know, you see a zombie there. He's kind of approaching from the left. Move a little to the right. Do there. And the great thing about these Nova crawlers is you can jump over them. That was a very dicey situation. I was kind of fucked there. Honestly, like, most times you do not get out of that situation, but I got really lucky and I just ran through that. That's another thing. Like, zombies is just kind of brutal sometimes. Like, this AI can fuck you over sometimes. Like, so like, this isn't a foolproof plan, but like, you know, if you practice this a lot and you get a feel for the rhythm, you will be able to kind of like run these circles pretty well in the theater. And also, as long as you never open that blasted door, like, which I was like right next to, just never open that door for any reason whatsoever, unless you're trying to do something specific or just have a better plan. Because mind you, this isn't the only way to play zombies. I mean, zombies is pretty open, you know. I mean, hey, if you want to run like 50 rounds with the Olympia, go for it. But, you know, fuck the Olympia. Okay, I'm on team like M14, you know, fuck the Olympia. You think you're going to get into heaven with that weapon? Like, you know, think again, alright? And here, this weapon has a bunch of bullets, but you run slow as hell with it. And I guess now I'm going to have to say something negative about just Call of Duty. I mean, hey, I already said something negative about Activision, but I fucking hate how the sprints work in this game. It's so frustrating, you know? Like, with these Call of Duty games, you know, I don't know if any of the new games have changed this, but in Black Ops 1 here, and pretty much in every single like Modern Warfare style Call of Duty, honestly, like the only time I've played one of the older Call of Duties is Call of Duty 2, and I've only played like the demo that was available on Xbox 360. And I just want to say, like, demos being available for games, I think that was awesome. Like, I kind of wish more games did that. I mean, there are still games that do that, but just there's sort of a magic on the Xbox Live, like just Xbox Live online. And hey, I got the ray gun. Look at that, pretty early on too. Honestly, I have some ridiculous luck because, like, okay, my ridiculous luck comes later, but hey, I got the ray gun, the Thundergun decently early. I mean, hey, I've had like attempts where I've gotten them earlier, but you know, hey, round 16, Thundergun, MPL, ray gun, like, you know, we're not doing bad at all. Not bad at all. Oh yeah, also with these dog rounds, you're going to want to have the Thundergun and also Speed Cola, because if you don't have Speed Cola, you kind of run into a situation where you spend too much time reloading with the Thundergun, and then the dogs have a little bit more time to catch up on you. But with Speed Cola, the limited ammo of the Thundergun really doesn't matter. And the reason you spam Thundergun with the dogs is because at the end of every dog round, you just get max ammo. And also just be sure that you have a full like clip, you know, you have like 2 shots with the Thundergun, and also just fully reloaded all your other weapons, because if you don't do that and you get the max ammo, you will have less ammo by the max ammo like power up thing. I was trying to talk about training or something, and then I got distracted and I was talking about something else. Oh yes, sprinting. So like you fucking okay. So in every single Call of Duty game, aside from some example I don't know about, maybe like the future games change it. I highly doubt it. But you sprint, and then after a while your sprint runs out, and you know there's no gauge to tell you like when your sprint runs out. It just runs out. And if you try to immediately sprint after that, you only sprint for like 1 second. I fucking hate that shit. Like, you know, it has its place. It's like a balancing thing or whatever, but I fucking hate it. I just want to sprint the whole fucking time. Like, why are you doing this to me? Or at the very least, give me a gauge so I know how to plan it out. Like, I mean, fucking, oh no, you have to learn the timing. Man, fuck that. So yeah, no, especially with like when you really have to like get out of a dicey situation in zombie, just like in any mode in Call of Duty, when you just need to get out of a dicey situation. Oh, your sprint ran out. Because this is like real life, you know, your character after like 6 seconds of sprinting, you know, he's gonna stop sprinting because he's carrying all this heavy weaponry. But I hate it. I fucking hate it. Okay, like, oh man, just that's just something which I really hate about all these like this era of shooters. Just like these limited sprints, and maybe GTA, the Grand Theft Auto games, and just the Rockstar games may have it the worst, because those games you have to constantly hit a fucking button in order to sprint on console. I mean, maybe on PC you only have to like hold the shift once in order to like run, or maybe there was an option in the menu to make it like a toggle and not like having to press the fucking sprint button a bajillion times to run in a GTA game. Like, oh man, that pissed me off in GTA 4 though, and also Red Dead Redemption, because I think they ran them out the same or whatnot, but I never did beat GTA 4. I've only beaten Red Dead Redemption, and the story of how I got Red Dead Redemption is pretty humorous. Oh yeah, I guess another thing with training is what you do is you gather all the zombies, and once you gather enough zombies, you go into this little corner here, and that's when you let loose with your weapon of choice. And with the ray gun in these rounds, it will demolish enemies, though it's not the quickest way to like end rounds, but it is a fun way to like play the game. You know, you just route them into that little corner, and then you just demolish all those zombies. And I don't really recommend shooting anywhere else in this train, though. You know, there are other places you can shoot. Like once you get to this location with the MPL, I do like to fire off some shots. Like with the MPL, there's like more locations to shoot, because you kind of get to a point with the MPL where it doesn't kill anyone. And see, that's actually a good thing, because if you kill a zombie, that means that another zombie has to like spawn in, which means you'll get run into like a situation where like, you know, you'll kill a bunch of zombies in like that little train route, and then suddenly out of nowhere, boom, a zombie has spawned right in front of you. Because you killed a zombie, they have to spawn in another zombie. So with the MPL, when it doesn't kill any zombies, no new zombies spawn in. So the only zombies that are like running around are the ones right behind you, the ones that you're shooting at. So it makes it that you can be more gun-ho with shooting the zombies. You don't have to shoot them in just this one train location. You can also shoot them in that area or in that area, because you know where the zombies are at all times, because you haven't killed any zombies, and no new zombies are going to spawn once you like draw in a big enough crowd. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And also, there's a step of the fire trap which I forgot to go over. But basically, like once you do the fire trap, and then like the fire trap runs out, and then you get out of that room, you immediately want to go over to the electric trap, which like goes into this big theater, and then turn that on, run through it, and then like most of the zombies are gonna get killed by that electric trap. But once you get into the higher rounds, like every time a zombie gets killed by the electric trap, new zombies are still gonna spawn in. So you go back to training in this room, and then you kind of like repeat the process of the fire trap over and over again. And also, when you activate the fire trap and the fire trap ends, you kind of have to wait for the fire trap to reactivate again. I'm not 100% sure how much time that takes to happen, but I think it's somewhere around 30 seconds or whatnot. But I also mentioned that I do end up shooting this weapon a lot instead of just training the zombies and taking them to the fire trap room. And the reason I do that is just to get more points, because you can get a decent amount of points just by shooting the zombies while they're going to the fire trap room. But what I like to do is pretty much like empty my entire like ammo count for the MPL here, and then once I do that, I run to the fire trap room. Am I gonna do that now? No, I don't think I haven't started doing like the fire trap strategy yet. I'm still relying on killing all the zombies here. Wait, no. Actually, no, I think this is the round where I start doing the fire trap strategy. Mind you, I have it in the time code, but I'm just kind of going off of memory and like looking at my footage. So yeah, so what I do is I empty my ammo for the MPL. I earn a lot of points that way, and then I just buy more ammo here. And then, you know, if you sprint all the way to this room, you'll have enough time to buy ammo for it, and then wait for like some of the zombies to kind of enter the room. I don't do that yet, but I do that later. And then I activate the fire trap. I run to this little corner here, and I just start unloading. And at this point in time when I'm unloading, I forgot that I'm playing on console, and console has pretty much aim assist. So what aim assist does is that when you aim down the sights, the game pretty much like centers onto the enemy for you. That doesn't happen on PC. Even if you play with a controller, on the PC ports of this game, it does not have aim assist. Take that as you like, but basically what I'm trying to say here is I'm not taking advantage of the aim assist in this early round. But later on in this video, I do end up taking advantage of the aim assist, because what I'm doing is I'm aiming once and hoping the aim assist like is centered right, instead of doing this thing where I just like pretty much hold the right trigger down and just fire for as long as I want, and then just like kind of spam click the like the, you know, going down into like spam click the left trigger, because what that does is it just constantly like redirects to the enemy, which just kind of makes like firing a bunch of shots and getting points easier. So I will be doing that later, but I didn't do it that round. And there was something else I had to mention. I forget what. Oh yeah, the story of how I got Red Dead Redemption. So how I got Red Dead Redemption, I was actually going to GameStop to get GTA 5. I think I was going with like 2 of my friends and my dad. So I pick up the copy of GTA 5. I'm going to like the dude working the GameStop counter, like, hey, I want GTA 5. You know, I'm like 12, 13, 14, 15, one of those years, up to audience interpretation. And then the guy, he does a little spiel where it's like, did you know that this game has drugs, prostitution, killing, murder, trafficking of children? You know, like he starts listing off all the shit you can do in like GTA 5. And then my dad's like, oi, you want this game? He's like, I'm gonna get another game. So then I go to the counter, I get Red Dead Redemption 1, right? And the guy says nothing. He says nothing about Red Dead Redemption 1, despite being made by the same company, having all the same shit. But you know what? I'm going to have to tip my hat off to that worker, because Red Dead Redemption is awesome. Very glad I picked up that game instead of GTA 5. Though I probably would have still enjoyed GTA 5, but like, I'm just glad, because I don't know if I would have played Red Dead Redemption if I didn't have this little switch up. But had a really great time with Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I highly doubt that game can be no damaged in any way. And honestly, that game is so long, just like with every single Rockstar game, that like making a big video where I no damage all of it, just I'm not really that inspired to do all of that. But really great game. Really like Red Dead Redemption a lot. And honestly, and with GTA 4, I just kind of borrowed it from a friend, and I never beat it, just didn't feel motivated to. But I did beat Red Dead Redemption. That's like the only Rockstar game I've beaten, though I've played a good majority of Rockstar games. Well, I've browsed a few. Like, I own GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on Steam, and the controls for all those games are kind of busted as fuck. But whatever. But the first time I played Vice City was actually on my telephone. I played like the iPhone version, and then I got to like the part where you had to like fly a little car in the air, and I lost interest. But before that, I was having a great time with Vice City. And honestly, the same thing happened with me like on the PC version, you know, the Steam version. I got to the point where I had to like fly the little drone, and like the way I like set up my keyboard controls, everything was so fucked that like I just couldn't fly the damn thing, and I just kind of gave up on the game. GTA 4 just didn't continue with it after a certain point, after a certain mission or something. I guess I kind of lost interest. Red Dead Redemption, I did beat it. As for GTA 5, I've never owned the game. I've only played it at friends' houses. We like try to get like 5 stars and all that. Just kind of ran that. And that's my history with those mature games at a young age. Just like, man, the shit you have to go through to play a video game when you're like a toddler. Just like, Cruel World. I should have just been playing like Mario or Sonic or something. Honestly, there was like this fun little area of my childhood where I was like, I acted a little pretentious about video games because like YouTubers told me to be. Because I remember this one time I was like in an Xbox Live party and I was just like, I guess everyone was like really excited about like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It was like 2012 or something, but Batman Arkham City also came out that year. And because I saw someone like review the game and be like, this is the best game of the year, then I played it and I'm like, guys, Black Ops 2 is not the game of the year. Batman Arkham City was. And I think I remember being kind of obnoxious about it because they just kicked me from the fucking party while I was like playing like Batman Arkham City. And I was like doing like the penguin section. I was just kind of stuck on a puzzle. But yeah, no, in retrospect, Batman Arkham City is probably still an awesome game. That is a game I would like to go back and like no damage the boss fights in. Same with like Arkham Asylum. Maybe like no damage like the whole game maybe, because I've seen people like no damage the entirety of Batman Arkham Asylum. That might be a little overkill, but the reason I would do the entire game of Arkham Asylum is because the boss fights in that game suck. They're not, I mean, doing just the boss fights in that game would honestly be very underwhelming, especially since like the biggest strengths of Arkham Asylum are not in its fucking boss fights. So I would rather do the full game. And now that I'm talking about that, I actually would like to revisit some of my previous no damage videos because like Metal Gear Solid no damage. I would no damage the entire game except I cheated. There was like a couple sections in those videos where I just straight up take damage. So honestly, I've done this thing where I upload a video saying it's no damage, but it actually did take damage. But for the majority, I did take no damage in those Metal Gear Solid videos. And one thing I can take pride in is that I did do every single boss fight in the Metal Gear Solid series without getting hit or taking damage. That is something I'm proud of. Well, okay, not getting hit is kind of lying also, because in the Phantom Pain, there's a power-up where you can get hit but not get damage. So, yeah, no. Watch those videos, though. I would like some views on my Metal Gear Solid no damaging the entire game. Like, they're usually not longer than, 5 hours. The singular video. So yeah, check those out anytime. Except for my video where I compiled all the Metal Gear Solid boss fights into one video. That video is longer than 5 hours. And I never did commentary for it because I don't really know what commentary I would even provide. But yeah, I know the thing about zombies is that this strategy, this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of the game. And it gets a little tedious to watch, but never really tedious to play, just because like you have to like keep things running, like, there was a phrase, you need to keep things running smooth as butter. That's not the phrase. Like, damn it, you need to run a tight ship with this strategy, because any like cracks or any like water that spills in will like fuck you over and you'll die and everything will be ruined. So like, like you'll be watching this footage and most of it will be me doing the exact same thing, but I have to do that because if I deviate from the plan in any substantial way, it opens up a floodgate of possibilities where I just get fucked. And also I mentioned that you should never camp in this area, but I decided to camp in this area just out of spite for these dogs, just because I have the Thundergun and nothing they do can threaten me because I can just one-shot them with the Thundergun. They're pretty much the only weapon that one-shots every single enemy no matter what round you're on, I think, but the only issue is that it has limited ammo, so you want to conserve it only for the most important situations possible. You can't like spam it. Alright, so it's a little late to mention this since we're not going to return to that spawn room for a while, but I do really love the windows in that first room, and frankly, if I investigate every single like window, like the places where you like have to put up the barriers, the wooden barriers, I'm pretty sure I love every single one of them in this area. Like just like Kino their Toten is just a great map. It's got a great atmosphere. It looks fantastic. Like, just like it's such a well-detailed map. It's a great aesthetic. It's a great location. Just I love this map so much. I mean, it's iconic for me. It's iconic for a lot of people. It's nostalgic, but I really love the windows. And like in that spawn room, like the windows there are awesome because, like you have the one upstairs where like, before you even get there, you can see the shadows of the zombies approaching like the window. You can see the shadows of them. So that's like one way. It's like good for gameplay. It's like a visual aid. Like, hey, are there zombies approaching that window? Yes, you can see their shadow before you even get up to that room. And you can see the shadow of like the zombies in the window, like in the lower area, like underneath like the upstairs area of that spawn room. And then you have like the window that's kind of to the left that's completely pitch black, and the only way you can like see if the zombie's approaching in the beginning is like their glowing yellow eyes. That's such a great like horrific detail. It's like scary. I love that. It's like haunting. And then there's like the other window, and like what's cool about like this like window I haven't mentioned yet in that spawn room is that's like the only window where you can kind of see farther away. You can kind of see the zombies approaching from farther away. You know, it separates it from the other windows. Like just really great stuff. I mean, like once again, I don't really know if I can analyze every single window in this game because, you know, once you kind of get to a certain point, you stop worrying about windows altogether in this strategy. So like I haven't really grown intimate with any of the other like windows, but you know, like that window which we keep going past, you know, it's got a great red glow. Love that. You know, just such a well detailed, very atmospheric. So look at this window, you know, it's kind of got like this red wood or whatever, but then like the area behind it's green, great color contrast. Just love that a lot. Just there's just so much to gush about with like the environment design in these zombie games, and I'm sure we could probably talk about just video game, Call of Duty, high budget in general, but just love this like zombie stuff a lot. Just a lot. And there was another thing I wanted to mention. So yeah, when it comes to important people to shout out, another person I have to shout out is Samuel the 17th. Now, I don't think there was any strategies from his videos that I picked up, but he has made a lot of really entertaining videos where like he kind of ranks the zombie maps and also talks about his experience getting to round 100 on every single map he talks about. And just listening to that video, it helped me like clean the dishes, and also kind of inspired me to like go at it again, because like, man, the process of like actually doing this is so frustrating. Like the getting to round 50, like I lost so many times, and like one successful attempt is nearly 3 hours long. Like think about how many attempts I failed. Like I've spent like a week on this game, and to be fair, honestly, a week is a pretty good turnaround for like doing this video. So I mentioned before that I would throw the monkey bomb in a really good way that was really convenient for me. That was not the way. I have a better way that I'm going to be doing for the rest of this video. I don't know when I start doing it, but I will do it in this video because it's very convenient. Because pretty much I use the monkey bombs to escape that room until I run out of monkey bombs, and then once I run out of monkey bombs, I try to escape without using the Thundergun. I don't try at all. I usually try to use as little ammo as possible for the Thundergun, but you know, like, you know, it kind of depends on. I forgot what up. It kind of depends on, you know, if the zombies are cluttered a certain way or if I entered a certain way, you know. Like, I mean, I'm going to use as much of the Thundergun as I need to get out of that situation and activate this trap to kill the zombies. And I'm kind of in the... Okay, so using the... Okay, so what I'm doing here is, like, I would use the MPL while the fire trap is active, but I would also just start spamming the ray gun as well. And what spamming the ray gun does is that it makes a lot of, like, really... It just, like, cripples the zombies, you know? It takes away their legs. So these zombies are too slow to get killed by the electric trap you turn on later on. But one thing is, if you still want to, like, go and get some perks or go hit the mystery box, it's always good to, like, cripple one of the enemies or just leave one of the crawlers alive so you just go run and get that thing. Because I was doing that in some of the earlier rounds. I would leave one enemy alive just so I can go do all the tedious stuff, you know, get a perk, get a weapon without the risk of 30 zombies coming down and immediately killing me and ending the run. So, you know, if you need to do a bunch of setup, then just leave one zombie alive and go for it. And the ray gun is a great way to do that, because, you know, there kind of comes a point where it takes like 8 ray gun shots to kill an enemy, but not that many ray gun shots to, like, you know, cripple them. So, hey, once they're crippled, they're very slow. They can't do much. So, you know, just leave them there and go do your business. So right now we're fully set up and you don't really need to do all that. And also setting up like that does waste a lot of time and make the video longer. And since I do spend some time setting up, that's probably why this video is kind of 2 hours and 55 minutes instead of 1 hour and 55. And to be fair, this was my first time, all right? Like, I mean, you know, what's great is that, you know, learning this strategy, getting good at this map is really rewarding for me, considering that before all of this, I was ass at zombies as a kid. And frankly, I was ass at zombies 2 months ago, all right? I was playing Black Ops 4 at a friend's house. And, okay, so Black Ops 4 zombies, I'm, like, completely unfamiliar with it, but I'm playing Black Ops 4 zombies, and like the map was kind of cool, but like I kind of hate the UI of Black Ops 4. Like, just, you know, I'm trying to get into like a match to play solo in Black Ops 4. I'm like completely confused. Honestly, this like boomer brain talking or whatever, but like I fucking hate the UI in Black Ops 4. It's like disgusting to me. Like, just like, maybe if I actually understand how that game's mechanics work and why the UI is designed that way, maybe I won't hate it as much. But it's like over designed, just like a fucking symbol for every little thing, and it brings me pain to like my cerebral cortex. Oh man. Alright, so let me pivot and talk about why I'm running this game on the Xbox 360 instead of, say, the Steam version, which I also do own. And it's just because, like, while playing the Steam version, I ran into, like, a lot of issues. I don't know, just that game is just, like, cracked in the wrong ways. Like, sometimes, like, I'll try to play and it goes, oopsie daisies, you installed it the wrong way. You have to reinstall the entire thing. It doesn't exist on the hard drive. Or sometimes, like, I'll open it and it's like, oops, mouse and keyboard, the right, like, mouse click doesn't work anymore. Oopsie daisies. Or it's like, okay, I'll play with a controller. Oopsie daisies, every single button is mapped in the wrong place. So it's just a lot of fucking bullshit. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to record it on the Xbox 360. But you know what? Recording this game on the Xbox 360 also has its own issues, and it's just that, like, I think the Xbox 360 controller I have is just finicky. Like, there'll just be times where, like, I'm really, like, you know, spamming those triggers a lot, and then suddenly the battery pack will disconnect and it goes, ooh, please reconnect your Xbox controller. It actually happens in this video. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but it does happen in this video. I actually think my right stick has, like, a little tiny bit of drift, and it's just, like, kind of awkward sometimes. And also, I don't even think I like the Xbox 360 controller that much. Like, I've gotten more accustomed to, like, the PS5 controller. So this smaller controller, like, if I play with it for long periods of times, my hands actually start to hurt a little. Just like, I mean, I've grown up. I'm not a kid anymore. I've got big adult hands. So, like, this controller just doesn't, I don't fuck with it that much anymore. It's a cute controller, and honestly, I like the idea of a battery pack over, like, charging it. Just, you know, having a chargeable battery. Honestly, the battery pack is cute. I like the idea. But honestly, just holding the controller, like, it's an alright controller, but, like, I've gotten way more used to the PS5 controller. Like, that's just my mojo now, and I really wish I could play with the PS5 controller. So yeah, no, I just kind of got to a point, you know what, wait, why don't I just try to play these games on PC instead of trying to run the Xbox 360 versions? Also, my frustrations with specifically with the Xbox 360 version of the game were also kind of like confounded with my frustrations with trying to get to round 50, so I was just kind of annoyed with the game because, man, it was kind of infuriating. So I said, you know what, maybe if I pivot over to the PC version, I'll have more fun. However, my issue is I don't have a good PC. I have a MacBook, which I use like boot camp to get to like a Windows version, but I wasn't going to use that. I decided to use my Steam Deck with a Steam Dock because, hey, I can run the game at 1080p, 60 FPS, right? Wrong. If you try to run like Call of Duty Black Ops normally with a, you know, Steam Deck using a Steam Dock, try to run that at 1080p, like full graphics, that shit will chug. It will chug like chocolate milk. It was awful to see. Like, it ran worse than the Xbox 360 version, though. It did look better. I could get extra details, you know, like, I mean, the gun engravings were like, you know, popped out more and it looked very nice, but once like 10 zombies showed up, the thing just started chugging, and I was so sad because it's like I actually was able to set up my controller to work well, and I was like having fun, and then suddenly, oopsie daisy, we're dropping frames. And honestly, I don't know if it's just that the Steam Deck literally cannot handle 1080p 60 FPS on a game that's over a decade old, or if there's just like a mod I have to like install which like fixes the frame rate or something. But I was so sad. I did not want to play that version of like, I did not want to play Call of Duty Black Ops on like the lowest setting just so I can have like 1080p 60 FPS. And you know, the saddest thing about it is I'm pretty sure that even if I did that, even if I put all the settings at the lowest, you know, possible, it probably still wouldn't run at like a smooth 60. It would probably still chug. I'd probably have to like run that at the lowest settings at like lower than 720p to get like a consistent 60 FPS in zombies, and like it probably wouldn't even be consistent. So that just made me mad as fuck. So that made me so mad that I returned to doing the Xbox 360 version, because at the very least the game is consistent in how it runs. Yeah, it does drop frames sometimes, but like it's not like, you know, disgusting. I mean, there are some disgusting sections in the Xbox 360 version, but like at least it was built for that console. The thing with like PC consoles, like the Steam Deck, like these little things I get, is that like they don't accommodate for every single game. So there's just some games where it just runs like ass, even if they're over like 15 years old. Oh man, just it's so annoying because I bought the DLC maps on the Steam for my Steam version. I didn't buy the DLC on Xbox 360. Actually, a bit of a tragedy with the Xbox 360 version is that I used to have Xbox Live, and I did actually buy all the DLC maps for zombies, but I decided one day I was going to try to sell my Xbox 360, so I pretty much did a memory wipe of everything on my Xbox 360, but I never ended up selling the Xbox 360, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to sign into my Xbox Live account again, except this time I don't have Xbox Live anymore, and I thought, hey, there was a bunch of downloadable games I used to have, maybe I can download them again. You know, like I used to have Sonic Unleashed downloaded, I used to have like Crackdown 1 downloaded, and then I found out that not only can I not re-download those games, I have to buy them again and pay for them again because I wiped my memory, and for some reason, like, the Xbox didn't keep track of the fact that I already bought those games in the past. So yeah, no, that was incredibly sad. I had like 20 games like downloaded, and there was like a bunch I didn't beat yet. Like, oh man. It's such a sadness, because I mean, I had Crackdown 1, Mega Man 1, 9 and 10, like Sonic Unleashed. I had Dishonored downloadable, but to be fair, I have Dishonored on Steam, and honestly, I don't want to play that game without the ability to like quick save. Though to be fair, if I was to like do a no damage run of that game, I won't be like save scumming. Because I mean, in my Splinter Cell videos, I kind of save scummed, but like only after like, you know, ideally 12 or 15 minutes of gameplay, right? But yeah, no, that's my situation. That's why I'm running this on Xbox 360. I'm recording this with the Elgato like HD60S Plus of sorts. And in the beginning, I did kind of have some issues with dropping frames, but after a while, that issue never popped up again. So that's like exclusively an issue when I'm trying to record PS3 games, not Xbox 360 games. So, you know, very glad that's the case. You know, kind of like didn't have the issues I have with God of War 2, because if I had those issues with Black Ops 1, terrible stuff. Now mind you, I did record a good chunk of footage from the Steam Deck. I just kind of have that footage sitting around somewhere. I don't know whether to edit it into a meme or whatnot. Like, I don't know what the meme would be. It would be like, it runs like shit sometimes. Honestly, not much content there, but I am holding on to the footage because, you know, it's there. And I experimented with different resolutions besides like a smooth 1080p, maybe a 720p, maybe like a 1680 by 1050. All of them chugged at a certain point and made me very sad. But at some point, if I ever do like maps which aren't like 5 or Dead Ops Arcade, I'm gonna have to return to the PC version and just figure something out. Maybe I will run it at the lowest settings possible. And I just saw a piece of saliva hit my laptop. That was sad. I did not want that to happen. Like, I guess I'm just speaking, it's just building. And I really hope that's not like sonically audible in like the audio I'm recording right now. Also, at the moment, I only own Black Ops 2 on Steam. I don't own an Xbox 360 version, though to be fair, like I said, maybe I could just buy an Xbox 360 version of Black Ops 2 for like, you know, $4 instead of the $40 fucking it costs on Steam. Though to be fair, I also picked up Black Ops 2 on sale, so it cost me $20, which frankly, that is the highest those old Call of Duty games should cost. Like fucking, like Nintendo and Activision are in a war, like figuring out like how much can they overcharge for their old ass games. Honestly, Nintendo might have them beat, but Activision, I fucking hate Activision more, alright? Like, Nintendo are kind of evil with, like, their business practices, but, like, Activision is more evil, alright? Like, I'm not gonna try to, like, make Nintendo, like, the worst offender there. Like, fuck Activision. And, oh, okay, that was a terrible place to... This is my first down. This is the first time I go down because I threw the monkey bomb in, like, the worst way possible. So yeah, another reason you want to build up a ton of points during this is that if you do go down and you have quick revive and you're able to get up and also like survive whatever zombies are still around, the first thing you're going to want to do is recover all your perks, because like once you reach these high rounds, you never want to not have Jug. Like, you need Jug, because once you're dealing with these huge rounds of zombies and you're training, and sometimes you're going to take 2 hits, and without Jug, 2 hits immediately kills you. So you want to get Jug back. You want to get every single weapon, like every single perk back. I mean, you're going to want to get quick revive again. However, in order to get quick revive again, you're going to need to enter that room, and the no Nova strategy is over. So basically, what that means is the rest of this video, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing I've been doing for a good chunk of this video, but it's going to take a little longer because more crawlers are going to spawn since you enter the spawn room. More crawlers are going to spawn since you've entered the spawn room again. Say that 5 times fast, 10 times fast, 50 times fast. Say that exact phrase 100 times fast, and also add the 100 on top of that. It never ends. So yeah, no, I'm going to get my Jugger-Nog back, I'm going to get my Speed Cola back, I'm going to get the Mule Kick back, and the sad thing about losing the Mule Kick is that once you lose Mule Kick, you'll lose the 3rd weapon you've bought. So if that 3rd weapon is something really important, you're going to be sad. So, I mean, you know, Ray Gun is kind of important, you know, but not really. In this run, it's actually very superfluous. I just got Ray Gun because it's a very cute gun and I like it a lot, and I wanted to include it in the video, but it's completely superfluous. So once I lose Mule Kick, it doesn't really matter much till I get it. However, with my luck, I'm actually going to get it on my 2nd try. Look at this. I got this piece of shit weapon where it's like, it's like semi-auto. I hate it. Second round, boom, I got the ray gun back. Like my luck is out of this world, but like the ray gun is completely superfluous and it's not even the most useful weapon for this strategy, but I got it back. Very nice. And since I'm going to break the rule of not entering the spawn room, in order to get quick revive again, and trust me, I will need to get quick revive again because it helps me with a certain bad situation that happens later on, but I'm also just going to connect the teleporter so I can actually pack a punch my weapon. So now you don't want to pack a punch the MPL because the purpose of the MPL is not to deal more damage. It's just to build up points like really quickly and then buy more ammo to build up more points quickly. You don't want that thing to kill at all. And also you want the cost of buying ammo for that thing to be cheap, because once you like pack a punch the MPL, the amount of points you need to spend to get more ammo is absurd and pretty much just kind of ruins the entire strat. So don't do that. However, pack a punching the ray gun and the Thundergun, absolutely necessary. I mean, the ray gun, it makes it more useful. Like, it damages enemies more. It has more ammo, very nice. But for the Thundergun, once again, those extra clips of ammo are super useful, because basically what you're trying to do with the Thundergun, it's not even called the Thundergun anymore. It's called the Zeus Cannon. And this ray gun is called like the Porter X2 yada yada ray gun. It's got this extra long, complicated name. So like, the Zeus cannon having more ammo is super important, because you're basically trying to conserve as much ammo until you reach the dog rounds, and then once you reach the dog rounds, you let loose and then you get all your ammo back. But like before then, you only want to use it for very specific situations, because maybe rarely you'll get a max ammo drop sometimes, but like that is very, very, very rare in like these high rounds. You're pretty much depending on the dog round to get your ammo back. So having more ammo with this pack-a-punch version of the Thundergun, very important. And also it's very important that the Thundergun is not your third weapon. So the reason why I try to get the Thundergun before getting Mule Kick is because I want to have my main two weapons like sorted out, and then I'll get Mule Kick, and then I'll get a third weapon, which if I lose Mule Kick won't really matter much if I lose it or not. So that's why I go about things in that order. And another thing I wanted to mention is that, yes, I had zero access to the downloadable games I used to have before when I, put my Xbox Live account back on this Xbox 360, and I had zero access to the maps in Black Ops 1, which I had before, because it's like, man, I used to like run online games playing like Ascension, like the map Ascension, like 5. I ran like the World at War maps. I don't know their names, but like the World at War maps, I ran those. I ran Moon. The one map which I didn't run was like this jungle one, which has like rivers and stuff. I never played that map. I just think I never bought the DLC for it, because like buying the DLC for like zombies map, there is no like zombie DLC. There's like DLC that gives you multiplayer maps and a yada yada, a bunch of stuff, and maybe one zombie map. That's pretty much the DLCs for zombies that existed for Black Ops 1. So I guess I just never bought the DLC that gave me access to like that one new jungle map for like Black Ops 1. I don't know the name of it, but it has like rivers and like undercurrents that you could flow under, and it looks really cool. I just don't have access to it. And maybe I bought that map on the Steam Deck, I'm not sure, but I just remember that Xbox Live, I've never ever played that map. And I've never played the DLC maps for Black Ops 2, because my friends which owned Black Ops 2 never got the DLC for those games. And whenever we play whenever we like hang out, it's town or transit and like farm. Farm is kind of lame compared to everything else, so you just pretty much play town and transit. That's pretty much what we did. And I have pretty much zero experience with Black Ops 3 zombies, Black Ops 4 zombies, and World at War 2 zombies. I have zero experience with that, so I have like zero nostalgic attachment to any of the zombies in those games. However, with the videos I'm watching, apparently like Black Ops 3 zombies is like awesome, but like I'm saying, I have zero attachment to it, and I don't own Black Ops 3, so if I ever do return to making more zombies videos, I'm going to stick with Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, until I get to the point where I would need to do Black Ops 3. And okay, see, this is how I throw the monkey, which is effective. You pretty much, like, once the fire trap ends, go into that little corner, throw the monkey bomb. Like, the zombies just don't corner me when I do that. And also, like, whenever I throw the monkey bomb in that specific way, the zombies kind of, like, do this little curve, which gives me enough space to run past them, activate the electro trap, and pretty much just run back here. And yeah, a lot of zombies are going to die, and more zombies are going to spawn in. So, back to training. And even though the MPL has no ammo, it makes me faster. So, we will have that equipped, and we're just going to run around and just wait for zombies to crowd around me. So I mentioned before that there were some contributors to my decision to purchase Black Ops, which I'm a little embarrassed about. And that decision and that encouragement was Super Mario Logan. Fucking Christ, my history with this channel is cursed. Like, honestly, on a long enough timeline, Super Mario Logan may be the biggest inspiration for me having a YouTube channel at all. But, I don't know, maybe I'll make a video, for, like, in the future that further elaborates on that, because fuck elaborating on that now. But, basically, like, Super Mario Logan, like, in his early days, he made, like, these, like, plushie videos with, like, Mario and Luigi. He'd hold these, like, plushies up to the camera and all that. And in his later video, well, I mean, not too later, because it kind of comes to a point where he had a legal battle with Nintendo, and he was, like, banned from using any, like, Mario plush characters, and he had to come up with his own original characters. All that stuff is, like, after my time. That's, like, for the modern kids with the Chef Pee-Pees and all that. I have no idea what a Chef Pee-Pee is, alright? I know about Mario, I know about Luigi, I know about Shrek, I know about Black Yoshi. So Black Yoshi is the character we're going to be focusing on, because there was a lot of skits he'd do where it's like Black Yoshi playing Call of Duty, be like, man, I love Call of Duty, and that actually fucking inspired me to get Black Ops. Like, what the fuck, dude? I was a dumbass kid. But hey, aren't we all dumbass kids? But you know what? Not the worst thing in the world. It's a funny story to tell now, and like pretty much fill out time for a 2-hour and 55-minute run of Call of Duty Black Ops Zombie. That's kind of the thing. I definitely wanted to like make this video because I have a lot of like childhood memories of Call of Duty in general, and 2 hours and 55 minutes is a lot of time to talk about that. But I'm just saying that if I make another zombies videos, I don't know what I'm going to talk about aside from some specific things with the map, because I think I'm going to go through most of it in this video. But anyways, back to Super Mario Logan. So like Black Yoshi is like this racist caricature of like, you know, black people and all that, and fucking he really loves Call of Duty. You know, I wanted to play some Call of Duty, and that was I am 100% sure that was a big inspiration why I wanted to get Black Ops 1. Like I see my past history and I'm realizing, wow, some of these YouTubers are a bad influence on children. Oh my god. And you know, it's like fucking, I have a history of Super Mario Logan, but the dude is still around. He's still making videos. So like the younger generation is still being like badly influenced by his fucking videos or whatever. Though to be fair, I don't watch them, so I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but like I'm sure he's still like doing really fucking like 2007 style like humor, real insensitive shit. But like what's really funny is that I fucking see like these fucking Twitter accounts, there'll be like fucking 10 or 12 of them where like the little profile picture will be like Chef Pee-Pee with like the fucking bisexual flag behind them. Like it's like fucking having Asian Pride Month with like a state mandated like marathon of like the Hangover movies. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Like I know it's all done in ironic jest, but like it's still like insanely absurd. But yeah, no, that is a big influence why I got Call of Duty Black Ops. And also, it wasn't just that. You know, my friends in school were also playing it. They were like, hey, let's hop on Call of Duty Black Ops. Let's hop on Call of Duty Black Ops. So it wasn't just Super Mario Logan, alright? Like, I mean, I was, I guess, a bit of a social peer pressure thing, but also I wanted to play the game. You know, it's like, oh my god, it's mature, it's cool. You know, like, Call of Duty was the in thing back then. And I guess in some level it still is, but like, man, like I am just not interested in these new Call of Duties at all. Like, I mean, I only really care about like these old games, you know, like fucking out World War II, Cold War, Black Ops. We got the new Modern Warfares. I'm fucking confused, man. It's like the fucking MCU. Like, there's fucking too many of them. And speaking of the MCU, these new COD games, they have like a fucking intro. Like the multiplayer has like an intro where it's like, you know, like the Marvel logo that pops up before the movie, like before Marvel movie started and all that, and it's like a clip show of all their previous movies. The Call of Duty games are doing that now. That's fucking weird, man. Like it's just like the MCU-fication of a lot of properties has just been very fucking strange. Like that new DreamWorks logos that pop up in their movies. Like, did y'all see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? It was really good, but like, that new DreamWorks logo, I don't fuck with it at all. It's like a fucking slideshow of all their movies, and it's just kind of like, hey, I recognize that one was good, or like, hey, I recognize that one was shit. Like, you know, it doesn't fill me with magic. It's kind of like, yeah, those are IPs they own. That's stuff that's cool. Like, see, the thing that's fucked up about those MCU style intros, that for the MCU it works, because they've kind of built a continuity that like is worth calling back to, and like since all their films kind of are connected to each other, like, you know, that little like clip show does kind of work for that stuff. But you know, a lot of these other companies are trying to copy it and don't have any of the groundwork laid out to make it like, you know, a good thing. It just feels out of place and disgusting, and it's just kind of like, hey, look at all these like corporate IPs we own. They're just fucking swinging their dicks around before like starting the show. It's not fun. And Call of Duty is no stranger to this. They're just fucking doing the same shit. Very negative stuff I'm talking about in this video. Honestly, I should move on to something more positive. The dogs in this game, they have another name, but I don't know what that name is. Honestly, when I record a new section, I might look that up and correct myself on that later. But there was something I wanted to mention. I don't know what it was. Yeah, no, I mean, this is not a new thing on the channel. Sometimes I'll go on a tangent, and then later on, when I stop talking about that tangent, I want to return to that tangent. I forget what the tangent was about, and wow, I missed that Zeus cannon shot. That was sad. So yeah, no, back to Super Mario Logan. So I have a distinct memory where I was watching like season 2, like episode 7 of Mario and Luigi's Dumb and Stupid Adventures. This is the episode where Mario goes to jail and gets raped for dropping the soap. Like, see, the fucking progression of Super Mario Logan content is like, okay, so first it started off like, even the way I was introduced to Super Mario Logan, it was just like a dude from my school, like was at my house or something, and he just showed me this video. It was like episode 2 of like season 1, episode 2 of like Mario and Luigi's Dumb and Stupid Adventures. It was this 24-minute video of like this dude with like Mario and Luigi plushies just going on a walk somewhere like in a field or something, and Bowser showed up occasionally, and it's like the humor was just, I am Mario, I am stupid. Alright, like, you know, it's very like a 10-year-old is making this. But then there kind of comes a point where Super Mario Logan, you know, becomes older and also becomes more like financially stable or something, where he puts more production value into his videos, but also his humor changes. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, he picks up COD or something, he gets into a COD lobby, and that's what the fucking humor of Super Mario Logan becomes. So now, by season 2, episode 7, Mario goes to jail and gets raped for dropping the soap in prison. Alright, that's where we're at the moment. But in this episode, he has a confrontation with Black Yoshi. He doesn't fuck with the way Black Yoshi's talking to him, and he beats him up. But this is very strange, because every time he confronts Black Yoshi beats him up. But what I noticed is Black Yoshi only beats him up when he has a gun. However, when he does not have this gun, Mario gets the upper hand. So here I am, power scaling Super Mario Logan Mario characters in his comment section. So I type out this little comment, this very elaborate comment. I put it, I post it, and surprise, surprise, Super Mario Logan actually responds to this comment. What does he say? He says, "No shit, Sherlock." And then like I showed that comment to my mom, and she's like, "Wow, this guy's an asshole." And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was 10. Why did he say that? Yo, fuck that guy. I hope he falls off. Like, come on, man. Like, didn't even let me power scale his own characters in peace. But yeah, no, there was something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, I actually got someone in trouble because of Call of Duty Black Ops. So, Call of Duty Black Ops, it has a multiplayer mode. I played it for a bit. I wasn't very good at it because I was a kid and I was bad at it. But another thing is that it has a mode where you can play the multiplayer, but play with bots. However, when playing with bots, the bots would use the names of your other Xbox Live friends who also played Call of Duty Black Ops. So one of my friends showed up as one of the bots, and I was like, I was under the illusion that, oh wait, what? That's not a bot? You know, I didn't know it was a bot. I thought it was actually my friend playing with me. So then, like, I told my mom about it, like, yo, my boy, I'm playing with my boy, you know? And then, you know, my mom told another mom that that boy was playing that game. And as it turns out, that boy was actually grounded and was not allowed to play that game. So when I spilled that secret, I actually got the dude in trouble, even though he didn't actually do anything bad. He wasn't playing the game. That was just a bot with his name. And that was such a close call. That was fucking 4 hits, and I survived that. Like, I'm telling you, dude, this theater training can get mad scary, and also you could just get mad, get fucked over. But I was on the brinks of getting fucked over. Honestly, like, one of those hits was probably one of the crawlers, so it doesn't count as a full hit. But still, like, that was 4 red stains. You know, like, the way you tell that you took damage is you get hit, and then suddenly you have a little, like, red line across the screen. That was 4 of them. How did I survive? That was crazy. But yeah, no, I got my friend in trouble for doing that. Like, I'm just trying to, like, draw up, like, different memories of Call of Duty, trying to see, like, like, what can I say to kind of keep talking about this video? Because I mean, I'll be honest, okay, so I'm like an hour and 12 minutes into this video. This video is 2 hours and 55 minutes. The rest of the video is going to be this for the rest of the video. Like, Oh man, that's the thing with high round zombies is that, I mean, at least for this map, once you're strapped into your strategy, you're going to be doing this for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 hours if you're running it at like round 100, round 200. Okay, I guess one thing that would change with higher rounds is that you won't get the get out of jail free cards that like I use with the fire trap room. Like, you know how I have been like using the monkey bomb to escape the room instead of actually training the room? Well, on higher rounds, you're gonna need to conserve ammo a lot more because, like, okay, in the beginning here, all you have to do is pretty much like do the fire trap, do the electric trap, and then maybe do the fire trap again, maybe once or twice more. But on higher rounds, you might be doing that 5, 6, 7, 8 times over, and when you're doing it that many times, you really can't rely on the Thundergun or the monkey bombs like at all, you know, in like a long enough timeline of playing that game and doing those rounds for like 11, 12, 15 hours in one sitting. That's another thing, like, this is probably one of my first videos where like the entire thing is in one sitting, because like all my other like no damage long form content, you know, it's like a collage, you know, I mix like a bunch of different boss fights into one video. And even with like the ones where like I beat an entire game, it's like playthroughs between like different save points, you know, like I'll do a section and then I'll get to a save point, I'll save, or I'll do an area and then I'll save, and then I'll compile all those clips together into one big video. But no, this is like the entire recording of me doing this in one run, because you have to do this in one run, you know, there's no save points to do anything. So like these 2 hours and 55 minutes, I was like sat on my ass for like the entire thing. But yeah, there was something I wanted to mention. I'm just trying to like remember how I got into Call of Duty. I mean, Black Ops 1 was the first one I did, and you know, I got it from Blockbuster. But when I'm remembering like that journey to Blockbuster, I also got another game. I rented another game. It was like, I think it was called Tron Evolution or Tron Legacy. It was this Xbox 360. It was this Xbox 360 Tron game, and I only played like 20 minutes of it because I was more focused on Call of Duty Black Ops, playing that one. You know, I was playing the campaign. I think I played a slight bit of multiplayer. No, I think it was mostly the campaign with that little Blockbuster journey. But the thing is, now I find out that, like, you know, 10, 15 years later, that Tron game, which I borrowed from Blockbuster, it's now impossible to play through legal measurements because Disney shut down the servers for it, and that makes the game like pretty much unplayable through normal means. Ain't that a fucked up twist? Because I don't know, I mean, like, Tron is cool as hell. Like, why the fuck can't we play the Tron game anymore? It's because Disney shut down the servers. It's over. You can't play that game anymore. You want to play Tron? Go play Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Go play those Tron worlds, alright? Go have fun there. And honestly, that's not a bad thing to do. Kingdom Hearts 2 is fun as hell. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance, not as good. However, that is the game that introduced me to Kingdom Hearts. That is my first Kingdom Hearts game of all time. So honestly, I have a soft spot for it. I played it on the 3DS. I still have to return to it though. I never really played the PS4 HD remaster, which, you know, allowed you to play at 60 FPS. Wait, did the 3DS version run at 60 FPS or not? I don't know. It probably ran at 30 because, like, the original version of Kingdom Hearts 1 ran at 30, the original version of Kingdom Hearts 2 ran at 30. Those games running at 60 FPS is actually a rare thing. It's a new thing with like the HD remasters and all that. They don't typically run at 60 FPS because they're usually very ambitious with their visuals and they're usually pushing something. But honestly, when it comes to 30 FPS action games, Kingdom Hearts is probably one of the smoothest feeling ones. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 at 30 FPS, I don't know, it didn't feel like a 30 FPS game to me. And to be fair, maybe it's because like a lot of the movement in that game is kind of automated, you know, like you press the attack button and your character is already flying across the screen. So, you know, like it not being at 60 FPS doesn't feel the worst when it's designed that way. But still, no, Kingdom Hearts 2 is awesome. I love that game. I want to no damage the boss fights in it, but before I no damage the boss fights in that game, I have to finish the super bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, and that means no damaging that Sephiroth fight, and that is such a painful fight to no damage. It's just, I like have been avoiding that game for over a year precisely because of the Sephiroth fight, however you pronounce that dude's name with the wing. But yeah, no, like Black Ops 1 was my first Call of Duty. I didn't hop on Modern Warfare 2, you know, I wasn't doing any of that. But Black Ops 1 was my first Call of Duty, and there came a point where I bought Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare for the Xbox 360, but I don't know where on the timeline I did that. I never bought Black Ops 2, and Modern Warfare 2 I definitely bought way later, and I got it on Steam. So I beat that game on Steam, But yeah, no, I just don't know the exact timeline, but I got Black Ops 1, I got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I can't remember a single other. Wait, no, that's a lie. Before I got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, I actually bought Modern Warfare 3. However, the fucked up thing about Modern Warfare 3 is that I'm pretty sure I sold it at some point. There was like this event where I sold a bunch of games. And wait, do you see? I could have gone down there. I had to like quickly maneuver out of there. Like there comes points where like you're training, and there comes a point where like your typical train is fucked. So you have to like make a quick maneuver, like change something just to like fix your train. And sometimes when fixing your train, the other route is also fucked. But I got really lucky there that it wasn't, because I always want to lead the zombies through that little gap on the right. I don't want them to come from the left. So the way I maneuvered, like, still made the zombies go from the right, but I'm telling you, that was a real dicey situation. Like, I was about to die. So, you know, that's why you have to, like, really practice this, really get down with the rhythm, really become familiar with the game, because, like, there comes points where you have to think fast. You have to be on your feet. You know, because, like, running zombies, you know, it becomes really tedious. You know, you're doing the same thing over and over, kind of. But then there comes a moment where, like, the game tells you, hey, wake up. Don't fucking sleep on your ass. You have to be awake. You have to be alert. You know, and that kind of makes it thrilling. That's what makes it thrilling. You know, it's like, it's long term. It's like durational. You know, like it takes a lot out of you. But like, there's just moments where it's like you're forced to like recognize, do not fall asleep at the wheel. You know, we're not drunk driving here. You know, you have to fucking be sober and attentive to get to round 50, round 100. You know that? And you know that's fun. That's like thrilling. I like that about zombies. And there was something else I wanted to mention. No, I got Modern Warfare 3, but then I sold it. And then there was like this big event where I sold like 40 games, like 40 Xbox 360 games. Most of the games I sold to GameStop, those 40 games were like Kinect games and all that. I sold a huge like selection of games. And honestly, I kind of regret that. I kind of want those games back. I also sold the Kinect in this event. So I'm at GameStop, and I was under the impression that pretty much for every game I sold, I would be able to like pick out a game. So, you know, I sold 40 games, and I'm like, wait, am I gonna get 40 new games? So I'm just like going through the store all giddy, like, ooh, I'm gonna get 40 new games. And it turns out, actually, no, you're only allowed to get 8 games out of the 40 games you sold. And I was like, what? And those games which I got Okami, I don't think that's how you pronounce it, for the Nintendo Wii. I got The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, the 3DS remake. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot every single other game I got. I literally forgot every single other game I got in that store. But yeah, no, just like, fuck, I got ripped off, you know, just selling stuff to GameStop, you get ripped off. And yeah, I'm just thinking about childhood, you know, I go to the GameStop and I get excited, you know, it's like, oh, look at all these games I can look at. But now, as an adult, I know everything I want. In fact, I kind of have every single game that I need at the moment. Like, I have a plan, you know, especially with the way I play games now. Like, I see a lot of my friends, you know, they fall off games, you know, like they have work to do, they prefer movies, you know, like they don't really feel like investing time in the game. And even the way that I invest time in gaming has changed like significantly from when I was a kid. You know, when I was a kid, you know, you just play a bunch of games, but now like I'm way more focused on how could I make this a video, you know, am I gonna no damage this, or if I'm like playing the game normally, you know, like, I mean, how is this related to like gaming history, you know, how is this going, like what ideas can I take here for like the stuff I want to make in the future, you know, like things have changed drastically. Like, you know, I mean, some people have fell off gaming. I haven't fallen off gaming, but like the way I interact with gaming like has definitely changed, you know. I guess I don't know if matured is the right word. Maybe it has matured. Maybe it's like I've YouTubeified the way I've played games or something. There's definitely like certain games that like I avoid because I can't really no damage them or like make a video on them. And you know, I kind of want to return to those games because like I like some of those games. I don't know. No, I didn't really have an example when talking about that. But yeah, no, that was a fucked up event at GameStop. But yeah, I would enter the store as a kid and, you know, be all excited. I'd be looking at all the games, like, wow, look at all these games. But like now, I already know everything I want. I have like a vast history of like what games I like, what game franchises like I want to try out. Like, I'm not interested in like mystery buying a game at GameStop. You know, like if I want to buy a game, I already know that I want to buy that game. You know, like, there is no mystery. Like, I'm gonna get the new Yakuza. I don't need to fucking enter the store and like browse through what they got. Honestly, the only stores that give me that sort of magic are like retro game stores, you know, games that have like old Wii games or old Xbox 360 games, you know. Honestly, I'll enter a store there, and if I see something neat like with the Nintendo Wii or the PS2, I'll pick it up. But like GameStop as it is now, just like the magic is gone for me. I don't know. I mean, it's too modern. It's too. I'm not a kid anymore. Like I'm too smart for this, I guess. Like it's over. Like you're not a child anymore. Honestly, and being an adult is better. Like I pretty much have access to every game that I would want. I mean, through legal and illegal means. Actually, I say illegal means to like suggest that I'm pirating games, but like that's a lie. I don't even know how to pirate a game. Like pirating a game, I am fully for pirating games if you can't afford them. Like, fucking play that game however you need to, but like I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to do it. It's too hard, and if I try to do it, I will be arrested. So I'm just not going to, and I'm not in a position where I need to pirate anything. So I'm just not going to. Like pirating things is for people who are in a position where they literally have no other way to play it. That's not my position, so I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, no, to expand on the whole games piracy thing, that just reminds me of the state of game preservation at this time. It's not great. Pretty much like gaming is still a new medium. Video games are not as old as movies. They're not as old as books. They're not as old as photography. So a lot of the things that are done in photography, in movies, to preserve the classics just is not happening with gaming, Gaming is kind of like in the dark ages, kind of, back in like the 1920s or 1930s, like films, they were still shot on film. And that film could degrade very easily if you're not an expensive studio keeping track of it. Even the expensive studios still fucked up some of their film reels if the movie didn't do well. But say you're like an indie filmmaker, like back in like the 1920s, you didn't have a big company that saved like your big film reels that you shot like film with, like you pretty much have to carry that yourself. You carried it in briefcases, and once you filmed the movie, sometimes you just burned the entire thing, and now that film is lost forever to like history. Some parts of gaming now are kind of like that, and the major companies are not fucking helping it. Like fucking, I swear, like the CEO of PlayStation at some point said something along the lines of, "Why the fuck would we add backwards compatibility to the PS4? Like why do you want to play these old dumb games? Why don't you play the new good games?" Like that misses the fucking point. The reason you preserve games is as a piece of history. You're fucking burning the library of, I forgot the metaphor, like the library of Alexandria or something. I don't know, I forgot what you're burning the Library of Congress here. Like, you're supposed to preserve these things because, like, they're an important step of history. But, like, I guess the major shareholders don't really think about that. They're in it for the fucking money and the new games. And also, I just see it like this, if you want to see an old-ass movie from, like, 1950, there's, like, a fucking 4K Blu-ray of it somewhere. I mean, not for all movies, mind you. For a majority of the big, important releases, that is true. But for gaming, there's just no equivalent. Fucking, like, there's the ports of certain PS1 games don't exist. Ports of certain PS2 games don't exist. And then there's like ports that just suck ass and are worse than the originals in every single conceivable way, where at some point it's like, and then there's like some games where like you have to pirate them for them to even work in the first place, alright? Like, honestly, I think my tone might be a little bit annoying. Like, like I'm not talking to you, the viewer, like you, the viewer, haven't done anything wrong to my knowledge, I'm just mad about the topic I'm talking about, because it's like, okay, if you want to play Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow on PC, you literally have to pirate the game to make it work, because if you buy an original PC copy for, honestly, I want to say if you buy for an absurd price, but honestly, they're not priced all that expensive, at least when I was buying them. They were like, what, 20, 30, 40 bucks to get like a PC copy of Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. But if you insert that disc into like a CD drive on your computer, it is literally unplayable, because like the server you have to access to like activate that CD is gone. So the only way to make it work is to literally crack the game. You have to pirate a version in order to make the non-pirated version work. So there's literally no point in buying the non-pirated version when you just have to pirate it anyway. Same thing with the PC version of the Ultimate Spider-Man video game. So, I mean, it's like, at some point, piracy is the only way to preserve these classic games. Because if the big companies aren't going to do it, who else will? Alright? Like, basically what I'm trying to say is, when am I gonna get a port of the PS3 HD collection of the original Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 2? Okay, Kiwamis are good games. I don't like them as much as the originals, but they're good games. But I want my originals, and to be fair, I mean, I'm not in a position to complain because I own the originals. I own all the consoles to play the originals, but not everyone does, and I would like a port on Steam that is good. Thank you, please do that, and also translate it, or don't, but just put it on Steam so I can just have a Steam version, please, and also to make it easier to mod so I can make more videos on it. Thank you, please. Oh man, but yeah, no, just really terrible state of preservation on games, and also just preserving games is a lot harder. I mean, fucking Silent Hill, the Silent Hill horror franchise is like one of the most iconic franchises. Why does an original copy of Silent Hill 2 cost fucking $140? That is a game that should be played in classes. That is a game that should be taught. Why the fuck is it so hard to get a copy of that game? And yeah, there's the HD collection that was fucking horrible. Like, why was it so horrible? There's actually a good amount of reasons why it was so horrible. Like, they fucking lost the source code. There was trouble in management. One of the producers, like, couldn't produce because someone else was fucking him over. Like, just the fucking Silent Hill HD collection on PS3 and Xbox 360 was just a disaster all around. Management, directorial choices, just... So you want to play the originals instead of that, but the only way to like play the originals without dropping like fucking $140 on one of the games is to pirate. It's the only way. And also it has PC versions, which actually, okay, I own a PC version of Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3, and from what I've played, at least back when I was playing them like a couple years back, you don't actually need to like pirate those games in order to play the non-pirated versions of the PC editions. However, you still need to mod them in order to get them in 1080p, good quality, without any glitches and whatnot, and also to play with a controller. And at some point, you're probably going to have to crack them anyways, and crack them is probably easier, so it's like fucking... And also, fuck Konami for the way they treated those first 4 games in a modern preservation sense, so... Just to fucking stick it to the man, just pirate Silent Hill 1 through 4. They're phenomenal games that everyone should play, and just... Yeah, I'm just getting very passionate about the horror series that has nothing to do with Call of Duty. But hey, zombies is about horror, so you know how it be. But yeah, no, I definitely want to do a no damage run of Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4 sometime. Honestly, I was kind of prepping a run of Silent Hill 1 at some point, but then I gave up on it because it was kind of hard and I wanted to do something else. And you know, it is Halloween is approaching. However, this Call of Duty Zombies video, this is my Halloween video. So yeah, no, sorry, this month, this year, frankly, no Silent Hill, no damage for y'all. Sorry, guys, but I do want to do it one day, and I will do it, so just be ready for that. However, for Silent Hill 1, I'm probably gonna have to go back to recording the PS3, and I honestly, after like my issues with recording God of War 1 and also recording God of War 2 right now, I don't want to return to like recording that console ever again. But there's a couple games that are really rad that are exclusive to the PS3 and haven't really been ported in a fun way, in like a convenient way. Okay, now that I'm talking about this, I'm remembering there was one thing that Sony did that was kind of game preservation, but I kind of hated it. It was pretty much like PS Now. So pretty much like it was game preservation, but like the only way you could own those games is streaming them through like some service. So there was no way to like digitally own those games. You pretty much just have to like stream them. You have to like pay a subscription service to even have access to them. I don't know what the state of PS Now is right now, because they did go through some very big changes. Like, we got access to more PS1 games. I don't know if we got access to PS2 games yet in like the big ass service, but in the early conception of PS Now, like on the PS4, and yeah, see, this is one of the issues I had with playing this on Xbox 360, is that my battery pack was sometimes like, you get disconnected and then boom, you have to reconnect the controller. So I'm like in this really action-packed section, and then boom, I get kicked out of it, and I get really worried. There was this failed attempt which I made a meme about, which I got to round 44, and I sped up all the footage in that video because, like, you know, it's like the footage of that round 44 failure is about as long as this. So in order to make it palatable as a meme, I pretty much just sped it the fuck up and just kind of went a little bit like a stimboard with it. But in that video, it's so fast that you don't see it. But there's a point where like my controller drift went so crazy that I did like a full 360 turn, and then like my game said, please reconnect your controller. Like I was so stressed out. However, I didn't die that round. I instead died on round 44 for something I probably should have mentioned way before. But if you go down and you got quick revive and you start to stand up again, do not do the fire trap strategy until you get Jugger-Nog again, because in order to do the fire trap strategy, you're probably going to get hit once by the fire, and if you don't have Jugger-Nog, getting hit once by the fire immediately kills you. So you need Jugger-Nog in order to like actually withstand one hit of the fire. Now it's not impossible to turn on the fire trap. It's not impossible to turn on the fire trap and not get hit by it, but it requires very precise timing, and it's not the sort of timing that you're always going to pull off in every single 50 rounds. So if you're going to do the fire trap strategy, no Nova, with Novas, somewhere in the middle, get Jugger-Nog. It is 100% essential. I mean, that's just good advice for doing zombies in general. However, original World at War zombies, in some of those, in that first map, there were no perks, so there was no Jugger-Nog. Honestly, I want to play World at War. I want to do some of those zombies because just, I don't know, one of my friends was able to beat World at War on Veteran. Very proud of him for that. However, he sold his Xbox 360 and all his Xbox 360 games, so I can't steal his copy to do my World at War video. And since this is like my first long form video that isn't about no damage and is instead more of a challenge run, I guess it just kind of opens the opportunities to do more games which don't really apply under a no damage lens, but could still apply under a sort of like challenge run lens, that I could do something in the game that isn't no damage but is still like really impressive, because I don't just want to play these games willy-nilly, because if I'm just doing a walkthrough willy-nilly, I might as well just stream it instead of doing this like thing where I do commentary after the fact of recording it. Like, I mean, round 50 is still impressive, so it's okay to not do no damage. I did round 50, like, this is still like a huge achievement. And one game which I want to make a video on is the Speed Racer Wii game, because it is from my childhood, and also like from what I remember playing it and from what I see footage of it, it slaps, and now I own it and I can record it. And also, another thing I can do is I can actually just make videos on the Call of Duty campaigns. Honestly, just with like the games I have like a personal soft spot for, I probably won't be doing those new games unless the videos really pop off. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this video is really gonna pop off because it's Call of Duty. I don't know. I don't think like my subscribers are really aching to see like a Call of Duty Zombies round 50 video, but I wanted to make this video, so I made it, and now we're here. But yeah, no, now I can do the campaigns, because no damaging a Call of Duty campaign is impossible, and it's impossible. But beating the games on Veteran is not only possible, it's also so hard that it would just be impressive on its own, just to like do like a playthrough where I beat all the missions on Veteran. Now, I highly doubt I could do all that in one go. I mean, honestly, like, the way I've seen people do it is that, like, they do it checkpoint by checkpoint, so I might just adopt that strategy, though maybe not anytime soon. I think I'm just going to stick with games which do kind of apply with no damage for now, but maybe I'll throw in a little Call of Duty Veteran walk, like, run through every now and then. And also, since the Call of Duty games do tend to be pretty short, like, Black Ops, you do a Veteran walkthrough of, like, the campaign, that's, like, under 3 hours I've seen from most people, so not a long video to do commentary for. I mentioned movies having a sort of good preservation process because they've had more time to like exist as an art form. However, new digital technologies have kind of introduced a new dark age for movies. Yes, I am talking about streaming services, because with new streaming services, there's been movies that have been like released exclusively on that streaming service, like movies, TV shows, and when they're released only on that streaming service, they're only available on that streaming service. Like, they don't release a physical copy, they don't release a disc, like, nothing. It's only on that streaming service. So say if the people who put it on that streaming service decide one day, we're just going to take it off, and they don't have any other way for you to watch it, well, guess what? That thing is gone unless you use piracy to preserve it. HBO Now did some pretty heinous shit because they like changed like shareholders or CEOs or something, and in a big drastic move, they fucking like took down most of like the cartoons on there as a sort of tax write-off. So yeah, no, they just fucked over preservation for a tax write-off. So yeah, no, streaming has introduced new ways to fuck over preservations of film and TV shows. So hey, I mean, digital stuff is kind of new, so it's going through its fucked up, disgusting dark age of not preserving shit. So, I just wanted to mention that because I didn't want to be too positive about the movies. But speaking of movies, this year the Chicago International Film Fest is happening, and I did plan on seeing a bunch of movies. In fact, when I recorded this round 50 run of Call of Duty Black Ops, I was actually going to see something. I was going to see this film called Departing Seniors. It was one of the opening films for the Chicago International Film Festival. However, something bad happened. The bad thing is that I started recording this at 7 p.m. and the film was at 10 p.m. and I thought, maybe I'll be able to finish this and then go to the movie, like perfect timing. However, my timing was bad because I reached round 37 here and it's like 8:49. I'm like, ooh, I really, really hope that I can get to round 50 in under an hour. And if you see this video, that is not going to happen. So I was kind of a bit in denial that oh, maybe if I finish this really quickly, I'll go see that movie, but it was never gonna happen. These rounds take way too long. So when I actually finished my video, when I got to when I finished my recording and I got to round 50, I believe it was 10:10. However, the movie started at 10, and to get there, there was a big time, 40-50 minutes to arrive to the location. So yeah, no, it was messed up. So I had to skip the movie, and it was sad because I actually planned out a bunch of movies I was definitely gonna go see, but guess what, that first movie I'm not gonna go see. But hey, I actually really wanted to finish this Call of Duty round 50 zombies video before the festival even started, and I kind of did, but at the expense of skipping one movie. So, at the expense of skipping one movie, and hey, I'm going to see the rest of the movies now that I finished this video and I can kind of take my mind off it, because I actually plan on making a video pretty much ranking every single film I see at the Chicago International Film Festival. So when I get to the film Departing Seniors, I'm just going to say, hey, I didn't see it, but I got round 50 on COD Zombies. Here, I'm going to plug my video. I'm going to make it a shameless plug. So yeah, no, if you have watched an hour and 39 minutes of my video right now, of this commentary version, well, yeah, you got a little bit of a foreshadowing, though this foreshadowing is so blunt, it's not really foreshadowing anymore. I'm just telling you what's going to happen in the future when I release that video where I rank all the films from the Chicago International Film Festival. What rhythm was I going off of there now? I was trying to train my own vocal rhythm or whatever. Ooh, and see, boop. I ran out of monkey bombs, so Thundergun to one shot of Thundergun each round is basically perfect. 1 to 2 is basically perfect and you'll be good. However, that does become a lot harder to do when you have to repeat the fire trap multiple times in one round. And at this moment right now, I don't really know what to talk about. I think I've kind of exhausted a lot of things I would like to speak about. This is wild, because I'll tell you one thing. Oh wait, this is a round I actually go down again. Okay, that was weird. There's some health stuff in Call of Duty Zombies that I don't understand, because you'll get hit 3 times and there'll be 3 red things, and then those 3 red things will go away. So you think, oh, I fully recovered my health? Nope, because if you get hit one more time, that counts as a 4th hit. I hate that sort of stuff. Why did you do that to me? So yeah, no, once again, the objective has not changed. We have to recover all our perks once again. So, Jugger-Nog, Quick Revive, Mule Kick, Speed Cola. And yeah, no, spoiler alert, I will be abandoning the ray gun now because, well, I used the ray gun enough in this video, you got to see it shoot little red circles and all that, and it was all very cute. However, this is kind of where I have the little Bernstein effect, basically where you remember something being a certain way, however it technically wasn't that certain way. Basically were those books with the funny bears called Bernstein or Bernstein? Do you know? Do I know? I don't know right now, but basically there's certain effects from you try to remember, you misremember something from your childhood. So I misremembered what the upgraded ray gun was in Black Ops 1, because I could have sworn that, at first it starts off green, Kiwami green, very scary, but when you pack-a-punch it, it becomes blue. However, that is just not the case. It becomes red in this game, and honestly, I don't like that. I prefer this magical blue I had in my head. And the only explanation I have for this is is the Pack-a-Punch ray gun in Black Ops 2 blue? Because I don't even know if that's true, but if it is, I much prefer that. I prefer this like mythical blue ray gun, which I have in my head. Because now that I'm thinking about it, like the zombie eyes in Black Ops 1 here are yellow, but the zombie eyes in Black Ops 2 are blue. And I like the blue better in Black Ops 2. In fact, another thing which Black Ops 2 has, which I like better than Black Ops 1, is if you go into the visual settings in Black Ops 1, you don't have a certain option Black Ops 2 has. Black Ops 2 added like this color blindness option where if you turn it on, it makes your crosshairs blue. And I guess if you have like a certain type of color blindness, like it makes the crosshair easy to read. But I just turned it on because I really like the blue color. But that is just not an option in Black Ops 1. So if I ever do like a round 50 run of a Black Ops 2 zombies map, I am going to turn that option on because I really like those blue crosshairs quite a bit. They're very nice. I like them a lot. I like customizing like little stuff like that. Like if I have the ability to change the color or something like that, I will do it. I really like doing that stuff. Oh yeah, to get back to like the zombie eyes being blue in Black Ops 2, I'm pretty sure there's a lore reason for that, because if you're unfamiliar, this little zombie mode in Call of Duty has some very extensive lore to it. It's like a very extensive story, and I don't even know all of it. Like basically, all my knowledge I have about like the zombie story mode is based on like some ordinary gamer's like video he made on it like a while ago, and now that video is outdated because like a lot more stuff has happened since then. But basically, like, it all starts with like Samantha, who gets exposed to some sort of element, and that element allows her to like be immortal and then like make a bunch of zombies, and then there comes a point where like experiments were done on dogs. And this little German guy, like this guy isn't so little, but he's a German guy. As I'm playing as, he was like one of the main scientists or something, and he teamed up with like a bunch of these other like characters and all that. So they're going through like a whole little journey. Basically, like all the World at War maps are about the 4 characters you can play as in Kino der Toten. So basically, like they play those 4 World at War maps, and then they end up in Kino der Toten. I don't even know how to say it. Oh my goodness. So yeah, now instead of getting a ray gun, I got this weapon, and this weapon allows me to just fire and earn a lot more points than with a ray gun. It is a much more useful weapon to have for this strategy. And I just pack a punch it because when you pack a punch a weapon, it sounds awesome. It sounds like a Star Wars weapon, just a bunch of laser and pew 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 pew. Love the sound design of the pack a punch weapons. I just love the idea of a pack a punch. But yeah, no, like, I mean, in Black Ops, they do expand the story to, like, other characters. So, you know, you have, like, the map 5, which, like, stars the Kennedy, Castro, Nixon. Like, it's, like, a whole different story, and it still adds to the lore. But yeah, no, pretty much I think the reason why the zombie eyes are different in Black Ops 2 is because they're being controlled by a different master or something. But I'm not 100% sure, because, like, just some weird stuff happens in that lore. Now it's gotten like a lot more complicated. There's like a lot more stuff happening, and now there's aliens and extraction. It don't make no fucking sense no more. Frankly, it didn't make sense, like, you know, in the early stages anyways, because it was all so complicated, and also like you'd have to like read in between the lines, you know, like find secret audio diaries. Like another cool thing about the zombies map, which I do not do in this video, is that like every zombie map, well, okay, I'm not sure if the beginning ones had these, but like, you know, like in the modern era of zombies, every single map has like an Easter egg. Like this map has an Easter egg where the reason I'm not going to do it in this video is because it requires me to open that blasted door. And for my strategy, I am never, ever, ever going to open that blasted door. My goodness. Though honestly, to be fair, since I did plan on falling at round 50, maybe I should have tried to do the Easter egg on round 50, though to be fair, that would have made this video longer. And also, when you complete this Easter egg, it plays a copyrighted song, which I kind of hate. I kind of hate when a video game has like a song that's going to make your video copyright claim, because like, dude, I'm going to play this video game. Like, you know, I want this video game playthrough to be authentic into like the original like vision and, you know, envision for this game. And that copyrighted song is part of that original vision. So like, why the fuck is playing this game, which, you know, shouldn't copyright strike me in anything, fucking copyright striking me now? It's like they put a Kesha song, and now like playing this game is just fucked if you want it to get monetized. And now it's kind of a similar situation, but the song is originally made for this game, but that song fucking like copyright strikes your video, and it's a banger song. Guess what? I used it in Roblox 7. Watch my Yakuza remix no damage videos where I just no damage Yakuza again, but I put a Roblox model in it. Maybe one day I will do this to Call of Duty Zombies. See, it's funny I mentioned that because I could probably boot up Roblox now, and there's probably like a remake of this map on Roblox, and I could probably reach round 50 on it, and I could probably make that a video. Like, actually play Roblox. See, I actually have a Roblox account, but I played it when I was a kid, and I honestly just haven't returned since. And also, I think I've lost any membership privileges I had when I actually paid for the membership. But, you know, I mean, I had fun times with Roblox back then. I feel like I've talked about how nostalgic I am for, like, old Roblox, but I got no idea what they're doing nowadays. You know, like, I like playing these zombie games, survival games. I played a game where I had to, like, hide from the Kool-Aid Man. Maybe those games still exist somewhere, but there's also a bunch of new stuff that, like, hides it. And yeah, once again, I am a bit of a Roblox boomer, so there's probably a bunch of like new stuff that's very funny and cool and also has become very nostalgic for a lot of kids out there that I'm just ignoring and just never had access to. But yeah, no, if I ever return to Roblox, it will be for Right to Fight. I still have to like make a video on that game. It looks very cool. Like, I don't know, just the combat from what I've seen is very fun. So yeah, no, pretty much what I do here, now that I have this big weapon with a bunch of ammo, is I'll like, you know, I'll waste the ammo of the MPL, and then I'll like pretty much shoot one clip of that weapon since it has like 150 bullets. And once I'm done shooting that clip, most times, like pretty much the fire trap will be over. So there's also a great way to kind of like time how the fire trap works, because pretty much once I'm done shooting those weapons, we're pretty much done here. Like, yeah, no, like this weapon setup is pretty much perfect. Like the ray gun was just not that useful compared to this weapon setup. You know, this weapon setup not only like is good for timing yourself, it's also good just for earning a lot more points without, you know, without training in this section of the map. So, you know, it was good that I built up enough points in order to, like, you know, actually, like, get all my perks back. And, you know, what's funny is I've only gone down 2 times. So, I can actually go down this 3rd time. Wait, actually, let me do the math here. So, I bought Pack-a-Punch once, and then I bought it twice. This is the 3rd time I've bought it. See, the thing about this game is that Quick Revive, you can only buy it 3 times. So, pretty much, after the 3rd time, Quick Revive does not show up again. So, pretty much, you can't rely on Quick Revive here, like when you're playing solo. And also, when watching like Call of Duty, you know, videos, I just found out that the Quick Revive on solo in Call of Duty World at War does nothing, and they only did this thing where it revives you in Black Ops 1. And Black Ops 1 did like remix the old like World at War maps, but if I'm gonna do the World at War maps, I want to do them in the original World at War video, because that game has different gunplay and it feels different to play. In fact, do y'all know a channel called Josh Scorcher? Because like that dude made a bunch of countdown videos, and like I used to fuck with him heavy. I haven't seen any of his recent stuff, but like he made like a top 25 overrated games list, and he included like Black Ops 1 in it. And like one of his reasons is that he feels like the gunplay isn't as smooth in this game as like the previous games like Modern Warfare 2 or even World at War and all that. So that would be interesting, honestly. Like whenever I get around to playing World at War and all that, I'll like, you know, analyze that again. Though that was a video I saw as a kid, but now I'm comparing that video with a video I saw right now, currently, as an adult. And the video I saw currently as an adult is one called like the history of quickscoping. And they mentioned that Black Ops kind of changed the gunplay in a way which made quickscoping harder. Basically, like in Modern Warfare like 1 and Modern Warfare 2, when you quickscoped, pretty much like, you know, like your scope will go in and it'll like stay, you know, straight. It'll stay like, you know, it won't like drift or anything. However, in Black Ops 1, when you zoomed in with the scope, it will be like slightly misaligned, and it made quickscoping a lot harder. And that was something they got rid of in Modern Warfare 3, but maybe the thing Josh Scorcher was referring to might have something to do with that, but he didn't really mention quickscoping, he just mentioned the general gunplay, so I don't know. Or maybe he's just mentioning the dolphin divers. Yeah, the dolphin dive. I want to talk about the dolphin dive, okay? Like, I am no Call of Duty expert. Like, honestly, I'm still kind of ass at these games in terms of gunplay. Like, I mean, if I hop into multiplayer, like, I'm probably still going to get destroyed. But what the fuck is the point of a dolphin dive? Like, is that move useful in any way whatsoever? Like, it's cool. I like it, you know, because it's like, you do a dolphin dive, you do this big dive. Like, it's very goofy, it's very silly. Does it have any tactical purpose whatsoever? Because I just feel like if you do it, you get fucked. Like in this zombies mode, if you do the dolphin dive, like you risk you run the risk of like taking damage, and also it just slows you down, I guess. Like honestly, someone in the comments, please let me know about any tactical advantage of doing a dolphin dive, because honestly, I was considering maybe trying to do it, but I was too lazy to actually look up if that move is useful in any way whatsoever. Because honestly, I kind of like it. Maybe it's like one of those skill things where it's like, you know, normal players will like ignore it because it's stupid and like arbitrary, but people who want to make a video that looks cool on YouTube will do it even if it has no tactical advantage, like most Yakuza no damages. Ooh, I'm telling on myself. Oh man. Well, that's just Yakuza. The Yakuza games just aren't designed for you to no damage them, or just Yakuza games are just, the combat is not balanced. There's usually like one option that's a little boring but does the most damage of all. So if you want to do the most damage, you just do that. But if you want your footage to look cool, you just ignore it. You know, just ignore the tiger drop in Kiwami 1. Just don't do it. Oh, man. But, you know, because like in Call of Duty here, you just point and shoot and that works. Why the fuck would you dolphin dive? Like, it's a slow move. It forces, it like keeps you suspended in the air. Like, it's not like sliding under something, you know, it's just like it's a really funny move, but like, how does it actually help you, like, you know, in playing the game? How does it, like, what situation would you use the dolphin dive? Like, oh man, I like dolphins, I like diving, the two things mixed together. How will that help you be better at the game? I really need to know. Someone please, please tell me in the comments. Like, I'd love to like learn more about that. Like, you know, link me a video of like the history of dolphin diving in Call of Duty. I'm down to watch that. So someone please make that video.
No ammo is no fun. Look at what I've created.
So, you know, the first hour and 52 minutes, or honestly closer to 53 minutes of this commentary were recorded up until nearly 1 a.m. However, instead of finishing the rest of this commentary, I went to sleep and I woke up thinking that after I slept, I would have like new things to talk about, and I kind of do. I just got this cappuccino. It took around 30 to 40 minutes to get it, but I did get it. I ate some bagels. However, not much has changed. Honestly, I've kind of exhausted a lot of the topics I wanted to bring up in this video. And hey, round 40. However, the next 10 rounds are going to take over an hour to get there. Well, technically not over an hour, because on round 50, I kind of do a thing that wastes a little bit of time. So maybe if I didn't waste that much time on round 50, this video would be, this like section would be under an hour. But yeah, no, like I was like doomed to miss that movie I wanted to see at the Chicago International Film Festival. Maybe I'll catch it one day, maybe I'll forget about it, I don't know. But honestly, of all the films I am going to see, I don't really mind missing that one in comparison to how excited I am to like some of the other films I'm going to be catching at the Chicago International Film Festival and talking about later in a future video. But now that it is morning and I have slept and I have gone through this morning routine, I just realized that some of the Super Mario Logan videos I've referenced may not exist anymore because he kind of had to like delete a lot of stuff because Nintendo sued him. So a lot of those childhood videos that I keep bringing up, they may not exist. I don't think anyone's like archived them, so I don't know what's going on. And that kind of reminds me, so like YouTube, just the evolution of YouTube has been very interesting because in the early days, YouTube had this feature where you could like put annotations on your video, like you could put like a red square, put some words in it, and some like, you know, content creators would like put dialogue in those little like cubes. And some of the later episodes of the first season of Mario and Luigi's Dumb and Stupid Adventures, they would have dialogue in those cubes, but I watched all those videos on my telephone, and the YouTube of like, you know, that era, if you were watching it on mobile, you couldn't activate those cubes. So it's just like this 20-minute video of like a Bowser plushie in like a black pool with like nothing happening. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And it's because actually you're supposed to turn on and like the annotations thing to see what he was saying all that time. So I'm just like, oh, he's just in a black pool. But no, there were words. But now YouTube has removed that feature altogether, so even if that video still existed on the site, now you literally can't access those old annotations. Like, there's just like a lot of videos that don't have annotations, that are kind of built around annotations, and now it's just the videos just don't work anymore. I don't know if there's like a Google plugin to like bring back annotations, because like there's a lot of like website plugins that allow you to do a lot of neat stuff. Like YouTube has removed like the like to dislike ratio. Like you can see how many people like your video, but you can't see how many people dislike videos per se. I mean, if you made the video, you have access to that, but like if you're just watching someone's like random channel, you can't see that unless you use a certain plugin. And I'm not even sure if that plugin is gonna work forever. I'm sure like Google or YouTube have found a way to like remove that plugin, but man, that was a stupid change. Especially if you're trying to find like a tutorial video. Like, I gotta know, like, is this tutorial video like fair? Is it good? Because, you know, usually a good indicator of if a tutorial is shit is if it's like mass disliked and all that. That was such a stupid change. Like, really, like, YouTube has just made a lot of like really dumb changes. Just like, ugh, it's very disappointing, very bad, very icky, no good. And okay, there was another thing I wanted to mention. It's just that, okay, so I don't know. You can say this is good, you can say this is bad, but I really miss the customization of YouTube channels. It's kind of like comparing MySpace to Facebook. You know, MySpace, you can make like the most gaudy, ugly, disgusting, putrid layouts with like the worst color theory ever. But you know what? I love that era. There's like so much customization you can do there. Yes, you can make everything really sparkly and hard to see, and like, you know, it hurts like the cranium, but just, I like that expression. Honestly, I'm very nostalgic for it. And YouTube had a similar setup, you know, like you could make your entire page like black. You could have like Arial font, red letters with like a disgusting yellow for like the subtitles and all that, and it was glorious. But now all the YouTube channels are set up the exact same way. The only aspect of customization is like your banner, and that's it. Like, that sucks, man. I mean, because now you can't get anything fucked up looking. Like, I don't know, creepypastas. There's like the username 666 creepypasta, like 6667. I'm trying to draw away any bad omens, but yeah, no, like that was a creepypasta. And the reason that creepypasta like works is because you know, because of the customization YouTube like allowed you to do. You can make your page look all fucked up and gutsy and meaty and gory. Like, you can make a real fucked up looking up YouTube channel that literally looks like fucking Satan pulled up to like talk about Call of Duty or something, right? Oh yeah, and if you are unaware what a creepypasta is, I don't know, I assume y'all know what they are. Basically, they're creepy stories that were passed around on the internet. They were pretty much copy and pasted to websites and websites. That's where the creepypasta name comes from. If there's more to that name, put it in the comments, but that's kind of the basic assumption. Basically, creepy stories on the internet that were copy and pasted over and over. Copy, paste, pasta, creepypasta. Boom, bam, pow. Wordplay. But yeah, no, because of YouTube's like lack, you know, more restrictions on their visual design, you know, they're trying to like unify everything. It's like, oh, every channel has to look the same. YouTube needs to be more of a brand, you know. It's like kind of gotten more popular. There's YouTube TV, fucking, it's expanded, you know. It's like, oh, technically if we do this, we'll earn more revenue, but it's just not that, it's not as fun as it used to be. And also, I am very nostalgic for it, so I mean, maybe like kids that are using YouTube now will look at it and be like, that's fucking disgusting, because a lot of those layouts kind of were. But I mean, were there any good layouts back in the olden days? Did anyone like actually use good color theory and all that? I mean, are there any notable examples of really dope ass layouts? I mean, I'm sure there are. I mean, there's people making like, you know, mood boards and all there, especially like of this generation could probably take advantage of that customization of the past. But now technically they literally can't because it doesn't exist anymore. Such a shame. Maybe there's a Google plugin to bring that back so you can like just make everything look customized. Honestly, it kind of reminds me that on iPads, like on Apple iPads, you can kind of do this thing where you can invert the colors. And I thought that if you took a screenshot with the inverted colors and then you like uninverted the colors, the screenshot would still be inverted colors. But no, if you take a screenshot with inverted colors, that screenshot is still going to be normal once you take off the inverted colors. So it's just a very temporary thing. So, you know, like if I take a screenshot, you know, I hope like my point is coming across in an understandable manner, but I was just very sad because I thought like I really took a screenshot with inverted colors, but then like I send the photo and the photo is not inverted. You have to edit that yourself, not with like the iPad inverted colors option. Like that's just for show. It doesn't really change the photo in any way. What a shame. Also, since I was so busy talking about creepypastas and bad things and hating YouTube, I forgot to mention that in this round 41, there was a point where I got to the fire trap and it didn't finish recharging. Like, basically, I got way too excited to return to the fire trap and I didn't wait for it to recharge. I hope y'all caught that moment. Be sure not to do that yourself, because if you don't have monkey bombs and you don't have a good thunder strategy out, you basically screwed yourself over. I may have been looking at the past with a bit of rose-tinted glasses, so let's bring some negativity. Let's talk about some bad things from the past, but I bring this negativity in order to bring positivity to the future, because in the future, we're not doing this shit anymore, to my knowledge. Okay, what I want to talk about is machinima. Do y'all remember machinima? Machinima was like this big company that like took a bunch of YouTubers under its wing to like produce content for them. So like, you know, a YouTuber will be making like gaming content, you know, I don't know, they'll be playing Call of Duty, Super Best Friends Play, Sanity Not Included, Sonic for Hire, Mario and Luigi's Farting Adventures. Alright, we got all these big YouTubers, and Machinima goes up to them and is like, hey, sign this contract and we'll pay you to make more videos for us, and you'll be part of our brand, and you'll get more exposure or something, alright? So like, every big like gaming YouTuber thing is kind of under Machinima. You know, Machinima's like a big clout thing. You know, people will put the Machinima intro in their videos without being part of Machinima. They'll put it for weird fetish content. All right, like Machinima was the shit back then. However, on a big enough timeline, Machinima started falling off because basically every single creator that subscribed to the Machinima contract was getting fucked. They were getting robbed at gunpoint. Like, the contracts were like screwing them over of checks. They weren't being paid right. They were running like a slave camp of gaming content out of these like aspiring, you know, like bright-eyed like gaming YouTubers who wanted to hit the big leagues. And this sort of like drama kind of escalated to the big gaming YouTubers taking on a new phase of sorts, because the most popular YouTubers aren't like the most popular or successful because they're under some big like brand management. It's because like they manage themselves, you know, like now the biggest gaming YouTubers aren't making money because they signed a stupid contract that fucks them over. It's because they're selling merch. I don't know, they're like getting stream donations, alright? They're like a lot more self-sufficient. Now, I'm sure there's outliers to this, but in a sense, the death of Machinima was a great thing, because like everyone who like got the fuck off that boat when they were legally allowed to and started doing their own thing were much better off for it. So like that is one thing I'm glad that is not back on YouTube. However, maybe a new disgusting virus has infected YouTube that's kind of similar to the Machinima thing. Let me know in the comments of any other disgusting corporate pieces of shit that are trying to like replicate Machinima as a style. Alright? Yeah, let me know about that. Honestly, I keep saying that. Put something in the comments, just because like I haven't really fully researched all these things. These are just things which I remember from the past, or I've picked up and just kind of kept in my cerebral cortex. I keep bringing up the word cortex. It is a fun word. Crash Bandicoot, I've only played those games at a dentist office. I've never actually fully beaten a Crash Bandicoot game. And now I'm just kind of like playing Mad Libs with ideas. And in terms of Mad Libs, I once owned a Mad Libs book, but I never actually like wrote anything in it. Honestly, the closest thing I've done to like writing inside of a Mad Libs book is writing out like the blank pages in a Diary of a Wimpy Kid like do-it-yourself book. And yeah, that's a funny book. I should maybe read that book out loud one day just for a funny little video or something. Or maybe I shouldn't. I should just keep that secret. You know, keep the allure. Only the closest I'm on the edge of my seaters will know the history of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid do-it-yourself book. Yeah, no, that auto-aim on console does wonders. You couldn't do any of those like weird flickering motions on PC. Oh, actually you could if you're really good at the game, but you wouldn't know if your thing is like being centered on the enemies. Well, actually, you could probably get so good at the game that you could probably just do that and replicate it with a mouse and keyboard, but I don't really want to play Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard. Actually, that's a lie. I'm actually alright with playing Call of Duty with a mouse and keyboard, except the keyboard I have right now, the V key is broken, and that's like the knife key on PC, and putting the knife button literally anywhere else just doesn't make sense. Honestly, like, Call of Duty is really well set up on a keyboard and mouse. Like, it being on V, and oh look, it reconnected, and for some reason it brought up my Xbox Live thing there. Mega Man comes out January 7th. Listen! But anyways, besides all that, yeah, no, like, so my V key doesn't work, and I don't want to place like the knife button anywhere else because it's awkward and weird and I hate it. and I don't really want to buy a new keyboard, so I decided to play it with controller, and I'm just very used to the controller. This is how I played it as a child, so I'm ready to do that. And also, now that I'm remembering things I had as a child, the Wii U has Black Ops 2. Oh wait, does the Wii U even have all the DLC maps for Black Ops 2? Because that's the one thing. It is really funny when the Wii U got these, like, you know, ports of Xbox 360 and PS3 games, and sometimes those ports were kind of gimped, but sometimes those ports weren't gimped. You had the Batman Arkham City version, which had electric gloves that made the game easier. I never owned it, but hey, there's that version. Or there's Deus Ex Human Revolution for the Wii U. You can look at your own gamepad. Wait. Hold on, wait. Didn't, like, the Wii U version, wasn't that like the director's cut that was exclusive to it, but then they gave up on making it exclusive to it, and then they just ported it to Xbox 360? Because I definitely remember buying the director's cut on Xbox 360 instead of buying the Wii U version or whatever. But the Wii U games which I did own were, like, Assassin's Creed 4. I played Assassin's Creed 4 on the Wii U, and frankly, that was a terrible decision because the PS4 version is leagues better, but hey, I could play it on the Wii U gamepad, and I could look at the gamepad, ooh. But you know, like, the PS4 version runs at a silky smooth 60 FPS, while the Wii U version was like running at an unstable 30, which maybe was slightly better than the Xbox 360 version, but still, I could have been playing that game at a smooth 60 FPS, and I just didn't. Like, what a shame. What a shame. I actually kind of want to maybe no damage Assassin's Creed someday. Like, the first Assassin's Creed only has like 9 big missions. I was thinking about maybe, like, you know, no damaging those missions, maybe just do some of that. Because Assassin's Creed 1, like, those missions are cool, a little sneaking around and stuff, but a lot of the busy work you have to do to get to those missions kind of sucks, unless it's like an assassination thing where we have to, like, sneakily assassinate 3 figures. That stuff was fun, but, like, the pickpocketing literally plays out the exact same way, every single way. Beating someone up, like, the combat sucks, so I don't really want to engage with that. So, like, when I say no damage, it's more like sneaking around and, like, not getting caught damage sort of thing. And then whenever I have to enter combat, you just counter everyone, so very easy no damage for Assassin's Creed. And thankfully, I do own, like, I think an Xbox 360 or a PS3 copy of Assassin's Creed 1, because the Assassin's Creed games on PC are fucked up and weird and don't work with controllers. You have to, like, mod them for them to work anyways, but there's still issues with them, so I have to go back to the original console to get a version that fucking works right. I just hate those PC ports that are just, like, very broken and stupid and bad and just no good at all. I guess in order to get back to PC and also to the Steam Deck, another reason why I have issues with, like, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops running very badly on my Steam Deck is because I'm not running, like, you know, normal Steam Deck. I'm actually running Windows 10 on the Steam Deck. So if there was a way to, like, mod the game to, like, perform better, well, I couldn't just go on the Steam Deck forum and be like, hey, how do I make this game, like, run better? Because, you know, I can't look it up on YouTube because all the tutorials on YouTube are, like, running with, like, the Linux version, you know, like the normal version of a Steam Deck. They're not doing tutorials for how to make Call of Duty Black Ops run better on the Steam Deck if you're running Windows 10 on that very Steam Deck, you know? And the reason I run Windows 10 is in order to, like, you know, mod games easier because, you know, Linux can't open EXEs like normally. It has to, like, go through this entire process with, like, wine and all that, and even that entire process just straight up doesn't work with certain games. Like, you can't do Roblox mods with, like, Yakuza very easily. You know, you can't, like, mod Judgment very easily on, like, the Linux version of Steam Deck, so I switched to Windows. And also, Windows, I think, just runs certain games at 60 FPS easier than Linux, because, like, Linux kind of has, like, this weird thing with 45 FPS and all that. So, I mean, I am on the fucking Steam Deck Discord, so I could maybe, like, post a question like, hey, how do I make this game run better if I'm running Windows 10 with Call of Duty Black Ops? And maybe someone will answer me in, like, a day or 2 or 3 days, you know, just kind of run that whole process, because eventually I am just going to have to, like, move over to, like, that version of the game because I bought the DLC there and I don't want to pay for DLC again. But maybe I kind of have this strange hope that if I renew my Xbox Live, I'll get all the content I had on that Xbox Live before back, so maybe I could, like, re-download all those games before, because that's how, like, the the PlayStation Online content works. Because when the PS4 came out and you had to, like, pay to, like, go online, there was this whole thing where if you're a member, there would be, like, a monthly free game, and you could get that game, and as long as you had the membership, you had access to that game. I got a couple games that way. I got Outlast. I did beat Outlast that way. I bought Strider, like the new HD, like, just new game in the franchise sort of reboot thing. I bought that game, never beat it, but what I played of it was very cool. Honestly, I should go back and actually like beat that game. Maybe even No Damage, because like that game was pretty sick. But yeah, now I don't have access to those games anymore because like my PlayStation Online just ran out, and I don't really have much reason to use my PlayStation Online anyways. And I kind of hate the fact that the PlayStation Online now costs money, because the PS3 used to be free. Like, Xbox Live was the one that you had to, like, pay money for. And to be fair, I never had a PS3 as a child. The PS3 was more a thing I bought in retrospect. I never bought a PS3. I borrowed, like, my friend's PS3, and then he just never had a use for it. So now I just have it for free. But yeah, no, like, I mean, I always used the PS3 in retrospect. I never was part of the online scene of the PS3. I only did online on Xbox Live, you know, like, party chats and all that. Fun times were had. Minecraft worlds. If there was more than 4 people in a single Minecraft world, it would lag to all hell. But, you know, fun times were had. But you had to pay money for it. You had to pay like a yearly, monthly subscription. And I really, really hope I can re-download all those games again in case I get that subscription back, and maybe get all my Black Ops, like, zombie maps back, so I can just continue playing Black Ops 1 on the Xbox. But Black Ops 2 is probably going to have to be a PC thing. I hope that game actually runs good on the Steam Deck. I mean, I'll do whatever I have to. I'll run, like, sub 720p, like... sub 720p, lowest graphics possible, mod that improves performance, like whatever has to be done, because like I need that game to run smooth. Like if it runs at 30 FPS, like I mean, just I'm gonna like barf. I don't want to like have footage that runs at like sub 30. I want footage that runs at a decently good 60. Please. I need that so bad. Though I should really invest in an Xbox 360 copy of Black Ops 2, like, because even if I don't per se like record that version of the game for like my round 50 videos, it's still going to be a really good thing to have as a hangout game. Because, you know, like, what if I, you know, I don't know, go get blasted somewhere with some friends, come back to the crib, what can we do? We can run zombies, because the Xbox 360 version actually has split screen, but I can't do that with the PC version. So I might as well just invest in a copy of that game just as a cool hangout game. You know, 4 people can run it just like on the couch, split screen, local multiplayer, very fun times. Because like, I mean, okay, the local multiplayer game that I have played the most with my friends, you know, I don't do it too much these days because I'm kind of like in my own grind. You know, we're all going to different colleges, different places, you know, so we can't really link up all too much. But if we ever do have the chance to link up, we do usually run Smash a lot of the time. That's probably like the most played multiplayer game I've ever played. But like, Black Ops 2 would be a dope thing to have on hand. Because, I mean, having Black Ops 1 on hand doesn't really help because only 2 people can play it. Also, one issue I have is that I only have one Xbox controller at the moment, so I would have to buy more Xbox controllers in order to, like, run that 4-player split screen. And that's something which kind of pisses me off about the PS5. And to be fair, this was probably true of like controllers back in the day as well. But controllers are expensive. But I swear they got them more expensive. Like a fucking PS5 controller costs like $70, $80. And it's like, what? I want to run split screen with like, you know, 4 people? Like, that's just impossible because there's just like, those things are too expensive. And what if I want to buy an extra one just for like PC exclusivity? And like, it just fucking keeps going up and up. This is true of the Switch as well. This is true like, I guess nearly every modern console in the game right now. And I mean, hey, who's gonna stop them? People are gonna have to buy their controllers. So it's just like, what can we do? We can pirate controllers. We can use like shitty third-party versions of those controllers, but it's just not the same. You know, like we need that quality controller, but it costs a good chunk of change. You know, like, oh man, because those fucking controllers, they have so much tech inside them. You know, they got Bluetooth, they got vibrating options, they have a trackpad, yada yada, just a bunch of bullshit inside to like inflate that price, and also because they're good, useful features to have. And even with all that like expensive ass like controller pricing stuff, the Switch like still drifts. So, you know, it's a cruel world. But there's something else. Oh yeah, so even if I were to like invest in a copy of Black Ops 2 for the Xbox 360, I mentioned before that it would probably be pretty cheap, like what, $4 or $5 on eBay, but I'm not even 100% sure about that because I did not research that. Because like, what if in the time, like, I mean, last time I checked, like, you know, Black Ops 2 for PC, no, like last time I checked eBay for like a Xbox 360 version of Black Ops 2, like it might have been a while ago, maybe like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, because like, when I bought my PS2 copies of Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, all like each of them cost like $30-$40 each, but that was back when I was like in high school, like in 2016, 2017. But then 3 years removed from that event, like 3 to 4 years removed from that event, I find out that now Silent Hill 2 costs like $140 for a PS2 copy of the game. Like the only copy that like costed that much was like a PC copy, but no, now the PS2 copy costs $140 fucking dollars. And it's just like, fucking, what the fuck happened in those 4 years? Oh yeah, COVID happened. Fuck that event, dude. I fucking hate COVID, man. Like, whack-ass event. Fucking bullshit-ass event. I hate pandemics, man. And it fucked over the pricing of a classic game that everyone should play. So, who knows? Maybe the same thing happened to Black Ops 2 when I wasn't looking. So, when I pull up on eBay, like, hey, is it $4? No, $400. And now we're all just equally fucked. And somehow, that $40 price tag for Black Ops 2 on Steam is looking a little bit less, is looking a little less like a robbery and more just like, what are we gonna do, bro? Like, we can't fight this. It's very sad, unless you pirate, which in that case, yeah, you can fight it. However, Black Ops 2 does have multiplayer. It does have zombies. I get the impression that the multiplayer is probably hacked to all hell and probably is a little unplayable. And also, if you pirate the game, I'm sure Activision has like measures to like, stop you because, well, you kind of need to have anti-piracy measures for those multiplayer games because if you like pirate the game, you can also mod it and you can also cheat, and it just makes playing online in those games all fucked up. I'm told that like the World at War online scene on Xbox 360 or on PC is completely fucked up and there's just glitchers all over the place and it's just a terrible place to be. And zombies, even zombies is kind of like hacked and cracked, and there's players like cheating all the time because like the leaderboards are full of like insane scores that are like inhumanly possible. So, but I want to play zombies solo. I don't really care about all that leaderboard stuff, but it is a little sad because, the leaderboards aren't really legit anymore for these, like, older Call of Duty games. Oh, yeah, another thing about the new Call of Duty games that kind of, like, pissed me off is that they're fucking huge. Like, fucking, I'm sure, like, the newest Call of Duty is going to take up, like, 259 gigabytes. It's insane. And, like, I'm not an expert in game development, but I mean, I do hear a lot of people talk about why those games may be so huge, and a huge part of it might be because they just don't compress anything in those games. Like, every single texture is as HD as possible. Every single audio file is as HD as possible. I mean, hey, I don't want compression to get too insane, all right? I don't want, like, SMT Nocturnes levels of compression where, like, the music is, like, incredibly crunchy and, like, barely recognizable. I mean, like, kind of unrecognizable when compared to, like, the original song, but a bit of compression would be nice because, holy fuck, fucking 256 gigabytes. I'm not fucking like sparing that much space for a Call of Duty game. Like, those shits should not be that fucking big. So like, that is actually a huge reason why I don't buy these new Call of Duty games. Actually, I mean, I'm just in a very convenient place where I don't really care for these new Call of Duty games, so I don't really even feel inclined to spare that space. But honestly, like, after seeing some of like the Cold War zombies, that looks kind of neat. However, I still have like enough. I still have to go through like all of Black Ops 1 zombies, all of Black Ops 2 zombies, all of World at War zombies, and by the time I'm done with all that, I hope I fall off of Call of Duty so I don't have to fucking download those fucking gargantuan, like, oversized games. My goodness, like... Also, I mentioned before I wanted to know the uses for a dolphin dive. And what I found out is that it has limited uses, but there is a few uses for the dolphin dive move, but it's really useful for like glitching into certain places. Now, what places do you glitch into with the dolphin dive? That I don't know. I didn't research it that thoroughly, but you can use the dolphin dive to go into like kind of glitch locations. Also, using the dolphin dive to like kind of dive off the spawn room stairs has some uses. So you can also get damage that way, but also you can do some cool stuff with that. And the third and most important reason to do the dolphin dive is that it's pretty much just a style thing. It helps you in no way whatsoever. However, doing it is kind of cool, and it's kind of like a style taunt, If you want to taunt the zombies, you can do the dolphin dive. You will earn nothing for it except satisfaction, and it's very funny to do. So that's why you would do a dolphin dive, if you were wondering about that. And I'm just wondering about like advanced tech because I didn't exactly look. I mean, I looked up a plan for how to like do zombies here, and I kind of studied a bit of training. I mean, I practiced a bit of training, but I'm not doing the most advanced stuff. There's probably like a bunch of like advanced, like, really good tech for this game, which I'm not doing. Probably like a way to move faster, maybe like strafing. It's something which I'm just ignoring. I'm just not doing. So there's like a bunch of like new tech, part like new like combat ability that will probably make me much better at this game, which I'm just not doing. This is a very newbie run, you know, kind of my first time going through with it, like seriously like attempting a round 50 run. Like I'm just happy I got to round 50, but there's probably like a bunch of like little techs and little stuff I could do that would have made it better. Probably like would have made my gameplay more skillful, like more satisfying to watch. Like, I'm just thinking about the time I no damaged all the boss fights in the first Devil May Cry game. That's a great game, but pretty much those are this video which had a bunch of advanced tips and tricks on, like, you know, how to play that game, you know, how to, like, get better combos, you know, just combat stuff. And I'm pretty sure I ignored most of the stuff in the video because it looked too hard to do. I mean, hey, I no damaged the boss fights, but, like, some of that tech, my goodness, I just did not feel inclined to learn it. There's just some times where, like, you look at something and it's like, wow, that's too hard. I don't want to do that. But then after a while of practicing it, you kind of get used to it, and it's like, wow, I'm getting good at the game. And then you learn of something new, and it's like, no, that's too hard. I'm not doing that. I mean, like, if I'm able to, like, get to the no damage point, then I'm good. But I guess when you run a game enough times, you stop thinking about, you know, just doing it, and you think about doing it in the most stylish way possible. Because, like, I guess when I'm starting out with, like, a new Yakuza game, or kind of at the beginning of my channel, I was thinking, I just need to no damage it. But now I'm kind of thinking about, how do I no damage this and also make it look kind of cool? Because, I mean, the standards are always, like, raising. And I guess whenever I try out, like, a new game on this channel, I kind of have the perspective of that beginning section, you know? Like, I'm new to this game. If I can get to, like, this no damage, then it's pretty much good enough, even if it's a little rough in areas. In here, if I can get to round 50, even if it's a little rough in areas, that's kind of good. Now, why did I pause the game right here? That is because one of my friends just kind of pulled up to the crib, so instead of being like antisocial, I paused the game and decided to say hello. However, I kind of kept the game paused for like a minute, you know, just kind of chatting, and kind of told him, hey, yo, I'm on round 45, you know, got to get back to it. This is going to take 40 minutes. Though, am I looking at the time frame? It would actually take around 32 minutes, but I didn't know that at the time. But 32 minutes is so close to 40 minutes that, yeah, like, when I returned, these final 5 rounds were gonna take around 40 minutes. So just an insane time frame. And also, like, I mean, they were kind of confused because they thought I was gonna go see the movie that day at 10, but if I was going to stay in for like 40 minutes, that was just impossible. And guess what? It ended up being impossible, and I gave up on seeing that movie, and instead I was just kind of editing my little no commentary video. And really the only edits I needed to make was I kind of trimmed off a little bit of the beginning of my recording and a little bit of the ending of my recording. And doing that in Premiere, editing that with, like, you know, my hard drive and all that, it was going to export in 14 hours. So instead of doing that, I just kind of did the basic, like, QuickTime movie, like, trimming feature on, like, Mac. And that only took like 20 minutes compared to the fucking 14 hours it was going to take in Premiere. Because I'm sure a big part of why it was taking so long in Premiere is because, like, the hard drive I'm using has, like, a slow up, like, you know, connection speed. So, like, it was just taking a long time because it was a slow connection speed, and, like, the footage was really good quality. Like, I mean, if I was, like, editing that footage and I was, like, using it from, like, footage on my desktop, it probably would have been way faster. In fact, that's how I'm recording this commentary. I was actually expecting that this commentary, like, footage video, I mean, because since I'm using, like, my no commentary, like, footage, I thought it was gonna, like, lag and chug, because, like, that's how it was when I was editing my memes. But since I'm not editing from my hard drive anymore for this commentary video, I can actually see my footage in real time. I mean, it does, like, kind of lag every now and then, but it's nowhere near as atrocious as when I was editing this on my hard drive. Like, my hard drives, you know, they have a lot of stuff, but honestly, I should really invest in some new hard drives with much faster connection speeds. Like, there's some really good Sony ones, which do cost a pretty penny, but I should really invest in, because, like, fuck, if I have to keep moving files around from hard drive to hard drive, I need to invest in a hard drive that, like, doesn't fucking lag like shit. Especially since I'm actually like planning on editing, like, a little project later on, a little bit of a creative, like, a final college memorial whatever project thing, and I have a bunch of, like, 4K footage on that, and it's going to lag to high hell if I keep editing that from my hard drive. And it's way too much footage to, like, put on my desktop. It's like 400 gigabytes of footage, so I really should invest in a new hard drive that can actually handle editing at a fast speed. And to be fair, there kind of comes a point where it's not so much about the hard drive, and it's because that my laptop just can't handle all this footage in Premiere. Thankfully, it can handle 1080p 60 FPS Call of Duty Black Ops footage from the Xbox 360 recorded with Elgato on Premiere. There was another thing I wanted to say. As long as it's on my desktop and not on a hard drive with a slow connection speed. I'm not even sure if connection speed is even the right term for it. I think there's a more specific term that is more suited to what I'm talking about, but I don't really know what that term is. And like, look at that. Round 45 has not ended yet. When is it going to end? Is it going to end after this fire trap? Because like, there's some round ends that are like really convenient where like it ends exactly when the final enemy walks into the fire turns off, the new round starts. This may be the round where that happens. Let's see. Actually, I'm not sure if I really want to see, because it might actually take a while for that to happen. And like, I am like still shooting a bunch of enemies, and it's like, okay, and I'm about to go on low ammo here. I have one shot of the Zeus cannon. Is this when the round ends? Does my memory serve me right? Oh, okay, so that one was just kind of like, there was 2 enemies left, so just shooting them with a Zeus cannon, it was a quicker way to end the round than, say, training them all over again, or like unloading on an enemy with like my MPL or the big shooty weapon, which I don't know the name of. It's like H6 something something. I actually think I remember what was the last COD game that like I bought, like the last new COD, and I believe that COD was like Call of Duty Ghost, and I remember really hating it, but honestly I couldn't really give you a good reason why. Maybe I was like riding the hate train with that game, but like I'm not 100% sure what specifically made that game like so much worse than like all the other Call of Duty games. I mean, the thing with Call of Duty is it did kind of become a meme because it's slightly true that they're all kind of the same thing. You know, the campaign is pretty much like this linear rail like gun shooter where you just kind of point and click at stuff. You know, like they all have different stories. You know, you have to go like through these first person like unskippable cinematics, and then like, you know, you shoot things, you take cover, you pop out of cover, you shoot. I mean, it's fun, you know, veterans hard or whatever, but a lot of the campaigns are a bit interchangeable on like a surface level. I mean, I'm sure if you like analyze those campaigns deeper and deeper, then like, you know, some games are better than other games. Like, I don't know, there's probably a reason why everyone, like, really loves the Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare besides nostalgia. And I guess ditto for Modern Warfare 2 and whatnot. Ditto for Black Ops. But, like, well, I don't know exactly what made the Ghost campaign worse. Was it the dog AI? Was it that fish swim out of the way when you get close to them? I don't know, it just left a really bad taste in my mouth. And, like, you know, I mean, people had fun with the multiplayer. But, like, Call of Duty multiplayer, like, they're always going to have fun with it, I guess, kind of, on a somewhat kind of level, except not really, because there's certain CODs that people just don't fuck with the multiplayer at all. I think some people really did not like the multiplayer in like Advanced Warfare, but I mean, I never really played Advanced Warfare, so I don't know. But yeah, Call of Duty Ghost was like the last Call of Duty game that I bought, like the last new Call of Duty game that I bought. Like the extractions mode kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, even though it probably isn't bad at all, but it's like I wanted zombies and it's like, oh, aliens. I mean, hey, it's something new. They're trying something new. And honestly, it was kind of, maybe it probably would have been fun. And honestly, I kind of want to revisit that mode. But I'm pretty sure I sold Call of Duty Ghost, or I just got rid of it. So that game is just gone forever. So I don't have access to it. And I can't be asked to, like, get it again. I guess, like, one... Oh yeah, I'm not sure if the audio got me right, but basically, I guess like one thing that I am kind of viewing these older games with like rose-tinted glasses, where like the whole thing about each of these games being the exact same game over and over again doesn't really bother me much, because with these older games, I can kind of pick them up for cheap prices, not on Steam, mind you, but like, you know, if I wanted to get Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, I hope I can get them for like a cheap price, and them being very similar between these releases doesn't really bother me much, because it's like, if it's all fun and it's all cheap, it's all good, but like, at the time of release, those games were full price, 60 FPS, so when these yearly releases are coming out and they're very similar to each other and they cost a pretty penny and you have to like manage your finances, then those games being the exact same in a way starts to fucking grate a lot more. Now, whether they are exactly the same, I mean, they kind of are. I mean, fucking the point and shoot, point and shoot, point and shoot. I mean, yeah, like, future Call of Duty games would make very drastic decisions, very drastic changes. You know, we have a zombies mode. Dead Ops Arcade is very drastically different. You know, like, Black Ops has, like, this weird vibe to it where it's like you're being interrogated, you know, very different from the previous games, kinda-ish. But not that different, because, you know, Call of Duty Black Ops, it's called Black Ops. Are we going to do any Black Ops? The game starts with you fucking shooting a grenade launcher to a crowded streets. Not really Black Ops in any way. I mean, some missions are kind of Black Ops-ish, but, like, most of that game is still, like, very action-packed, very action-packed, gun shoot, linear path, follow objective, protect the barrier, fucking capture the flag, you know, like, it does kind of fit into a similar sort of gameplay structure. Not much has changed in the campaign aside from having a dope as fuck framing device from what I remember. I have not played the Call of Duty Black Ops campaign in a while. I mean, only beat it once, and I think one of the coolest things about the Black Ops like campaign is that once you beat it, it like auto puts you into like the 5 map for zombies from what I remember. Like that's a sick way to like end it. I think that's awesome. I really, really love that. And there was a thing I wanted to connect it to, but I actually forgot what I'm going to connect this to, so I'm just going to pause this recording and like try to remember what I was going to follow this up with. And like these are all like very like surface level like points to make, you know, like I haven't played these campaigns in a while, so like I don't really know what I'm talking about when I'm mentioning all of these, like all very surface level, vaguely remember from me playing the games, vaguely remember from the complaints people had about the Call of Duty campaigns. And also, it is a little funny, me being a huge Yakuza fan and like complaining about Call of Duty being yearly releases that are mostly the same. It's kind of like the kettle calling the black Yoshi black. I don't know, I forget how that saying goes. But, you know, I mean, I guess that kind of comes back to the point that I am making very surface level like points when people can make surface level points about the Yakuza series, about how they're all the same and they're all on like a yearly schedule. And, you know, Yakuza is probably like my favorite series of games that are like based on a yearly schedule, because I really think they do so much between releases to like differentiate themselves from each other. And also, Yakuza is just lucky that like not many games do a thing where they like keep the same hub world and like open world between games. Like, I mean, if more games did that, then like I probably would be more mad at Yakuza. But since Yakuza is very unique in like owning that like status symbol and doing a thing where, yeah, most of the games take place in like the same open world, same hub world, but they change it up a little. They kind of like differentiate the things, you know, they give it a different vibe every now and then. They add new areas too while keeping the same hub world to like save costs. Like, you know, not many games do that. Even the ones like made on a yearly like release schedule, you know, like I'm thinking about like yearly release games. There's like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. Yeah, those are like the two big ones. And with Assassin's Creed, there was like Assassin's Creed 1, which was a very flawed game, but like cool concept, you know, really hope the sequel improves. And then Assassin's Creed 2 came out and like it heavily improved on everything and like made it cooler, made it longer, added more fun objectives from what I remember. Mind you, this is all from like my childhood brain and all. And then there was like the series of games which like everyone loved Ezio, so they just started milking the hell out of him. You know, Brotherhood, Revelations. I beat Revelations in like 4 hours. That is a short-ass game, let me tell you that. So, you know, then like after they were done milking Ezio, Assassin's Creed 3 came out and I never played it. Like, but it was like a big change for the franchise or whatever, but I never played it. And then I played Assassin's Creed 4, really liked that one, and then I never played another Assassin's Creed game again. And like, holy shit, there's like fucking 15 of them, and they like abandoned like the whole story structure of the previous ones. They're like doing something else. There's like an Assassin's Creed game in Greece. And now the new one is like more like the old games. However, there's like an ability where you can just teleport to like platform on stuff. And okay, now I'm just talking about Assassin's Creed, but I guess to complain a little. So some people are mad that like you don't have to do climbing puzzles in the new Assassin's Creed because you can just teleport to like the highest building. When the original Assassin's Creed games, like the platforming was still like super automated, you know, there's like no physics to it. You just like press the run button, you just like hold the climb button and you just climb stuff. But now they like automated it even more with like giving the player the ability to even skip like the automated climbing and just be at the top of a place with like a teleportation ability of sorts. It's just very ridiculous. I don't know, because like Assassin's Creed was like kind of based on a Prince of Persia sort of thing, kind of a spiritual successor on some level. But it's kind of like, what if Prince of Persia like had less gameplay in terms of platforming and it was like more automated and easier to do? But I mean, even as I'm complaining about this, it was still very cool, I'm not gonna lie. And now like I'm thinking about like, you know, Yakuza games. Every single Yakuza game is gonna have mahjong somewhere, and every single Call of Duty game during the campaign is gonna have like a stealth mission that is like very heavily scripted, so like you can't really have fun with the stealth. You have to like follow the cinematic paths because that's like how it looks cool and all that. You know, like all gillied up Call of Duty 4 was like everyone loved that mission, even though like I mean, I like the mission too. It's very cool. I'm not gonna lie, but like the stealth section is very scripted. You know, you can't do anything. You can't differentiate. You can't like take a different path. Like one of my favorite things about stealth games is kind of like experimenting, and you can't experiment at all in that mission. You know, you have to follow the path. It's very scripted. It's like a movie. You have to watch the movie while pressing buttons. So like if you really want to sneak around in a game, just play an actual sneaking game. Honestly, like Far Cry, there's more sneaking in like the Far Cry games, but now that I'm thinking about like the Far Cry games, I'm thinking about how the most fun I've had with like Far Cry 3 is with doing those little like outpost side quests, because that's like where the gameplay really shines. When doing the main missions, honestly, it's like a little weaker, because now you have to rely on more basic objectives and gunplay, and like the stealth isn't as open, so you can't like study the area before you approach it. It's like more linear stealth, and it's just not as fun. And look at that, I was going so insane with the game that my controller like disconnected. Like honestly, like Ubisoft really found a good soft spot for like just fun side content that they could just copy and paste to like pad out their game time with like outpost objectives with Far Cry 3. So like even a kind of mid-game like Watch Dogs, hey, you could hear a dog in the background right now as I said Watch Dogs. Isn't that good timing? So even a mid-ish game like Watch Dogs, like those outpost objectives, I still had fun with those, you know, like studying the area, like marking every enemy that could like spot me later, like kind of taking them out, even if the stealth in Watch Dogs is kind of mediocre. I mean, you could kind of say the same thing about Far Cry, you know, because like you can't fucking move bodies. I don't know what it is about not being able to move bodies in stealth games and just being pissed about that. Like Splinter Cell Conviction, you can't move bodies. Why would you want to do that? You don't even have the option to like non-lethally kill enemies. You have to kill them, right? And now that I'm thinking about that, I forgot what I was gonna say. I guess I do feel a little bit disgusted that I brought up Far Cry 3 as an example of stealth gaming when the Phantom Pain is right there. Like, the Phantom Pain is basically like the gameplay of Far Cry 3's Outposts, but like on a far like higher level of polish, creativity, fun, like design, just like much better. Like if you want the fun of like those Far Cry 3 Outpost things, which I do think they're very fun and do have a lot of cool design and like interactive elements, like, you know, there's random elements, like a tiger could go in at any random point and fuck it up, but the Phantom Pain just does all of that better. It's not that Far Cry 3 is bad, it's just that the Phantom Pain is on a whole other level when it comes to sort of interactive, like just kind of like, there's a word for this, like immersive sim-ish stuff, but no, there was another word for this, like just like random stuff can also happen in the Phantom Pain if you set things up right with the way the game's physics work, and also it just feels better to play, it runs better, there's more tools at your disposal. Just like, if you, I mean, you know, play Far Cry 3 if you want to, you know, the Outposts are still fun, but like the Phantom Pain is better with all of that. And also, the new Hitman games are also right there, though to be fair, the Hitman reboot series didn't exist when Far Cry came out. In fact, I'm pretty sure Far Cry 3 came out before Hitman Absolution, so around the time that Far Cry 3 was out, I would probably recommend it over the newest Hitman game, because wow, Hitman Absolution was really not the best move forward. However, I do think it's a very pretty game. I really like the engine they used. I really like the look of the game a lot of the time. Like the Chinatown levels are awesome. Really love how that looks, just like the bloom. I like the thing. I think Hitman Absolution looks great. Honestly, I think I like the look of the Hitman Absolution game like better than the reboot games. But the reboot games kind of took the best aspects of Absolution and actually put them in a game with like open level design and like fun stealth that isn't reliant only on cover. Like, wow, I really fucking hate how they like reworked the disguise system in Hitman Absolution. And the Hitman series is a series of games that I do want to make no damage videos for. So eventually, I really like saying this phrase, eventually on a long enough timeline, I will be making a no damage video, no damaging all the missions in Hitman Absolution. But like, oh man, and you know, maybe I'll be less hard on the game, because when I no damaged the entirety of Splinter Cell Conviction, I was less hard on the game, you know, playing it through there. But still, like, oh my goodness, just Hitman Absolution, what a disappointment in comparison to like every single other game in the series, except for the first one. Honestly, like the very first Hitman game, I also am not a big fan of. I mean, it showed a lot of promise, and there's certain levels that are awesome, but there's like huge chunks of the first Hitman Codename 47 that suck. And honestly, part of me saying that is that some of those levels are hard as fuck, and I turned on God mode to skip them, but like, there's this huge chunk of that game there's huge chunks of that game that are just awful. The fucking jungle sections are all fucking terrible and miserable and bad, which is very sad because the jungle levels in that first Hitman game have some of the best music in that game. Like, just the soundtrack for Hitman 1 is awesome. The soundtrack for Hitman 2, just the soundtrack for all the Hitman games except for like Absolution suck. And I don't know how to feel about the soundtracks for like the reboot Hitman games. They kind of have a nice feel to them, but I don't know. I mean, just like those Jesper Kid soundtracks are really iconic. And hey, Jesper Kid is also the dude that did the soundtracks for the Assassin's Creed games. And the Assassin's Creed game like soundtracks are great. I don't know if they got a new composer or not because I believe Jesper Kid has passed away sadly. But I don't know how the Assassin's Creed soundtrack, I don't know how they're doing these days. I mean, the games are all very different. They adopted a new style. Like some Assassin's Creed games are like based less on stealth and more on combat. Just Assassin's Creed is just in a weird place, and I'm just not caught up with it. Like once again, I'm just not interested at all with like what's going on with Assassin's Creed. But it's like one of Ubisoft's like cash cows, so like they're never gonna kill it, and it's gonna keep making games. And it seems like a good crowd of people still show up to play them, but I don't really plan on doing that anytime soon. Oh yeah, so thinking about other zombie survival mode games like this one here, maybe I should do like a video in this style for those games. Probably the most famous example is Left 4 Dead, so maybe I could do like all the maps in Left 4 Dead on the hardest difficulty, and if no damage is possible, maybe try no damage, but I highly doubt no damage is possible. Maybe just, you know, beating the stages is like hard enough. But I mean, that's more of a co-op game. Like a lot of the enemies are designed in a way where if you get attacked by them, you need like your co-op partners to help you out. And I don't know if the computers are going to be all that useful for doing that. And I don't really want to run a co-op game like that. But one game which I'm really interested in running is like Killing Floor, because I love how that game feels to play. Like, hey, listen, Left 4 Dead also feels good to play, but it like a lot of the guns feel a little light. I don't know, it kind of feels a little airsofty. Like Killing Floor, like all the weapons have like a punch them, you know, it's like I love like that little tension in the game. Whenever you get a headshot, like the entire game slows down. Just like I think that game feels awesome to play. I'm very nostalgic for that feeling of gameplay. Just I love like all like the way the screen shakes whenever you shoot a gun. Just like really good game feel for me. I would love if it's possible to like no damage that game or like do a solo run on the hardest difficulty and for it to not be hell. I would really love to do that. And hey, look how many bullets it takes to kill this one enemy like on round 48. See, like there comes a point where like shooting them with guns is not efficient because you know like there's like fucking 40 of those that are gonna spawn in like a single round, 60, 80 of those. And you have to spend that many bullets to kill one of them. So you have to like you have to like re-strategize your entire approach, you know. It's not about shooting them with guns. It's about putting them into traps, training them, putting them into huge groups. Honestly, on the highest fucking difficulty of having no ammo, no guns, no fucking Thundergun, no resources, get a crowd, start knifing. It will take you 50 hours, but it can be done if you have the hours to spare. Well, that is if the game doesn't reset itself. This game has... But Call of Duty Black Ops, and I think the other Call of Duties have... I'm not sure if the other Call of Duties have this, but Black Ops does have this, like Black Ops World at War, Black Ops 2. I don't know if they ever got rid of this, but... The zombie mode has this thing where if you spend too much time in it, it will actually like reset. Like the game will go pitch black and it will send you back to round one. Like the entire thing resets. And I think the reason they do that is because if the zombie mode goes on for too long, like the game might self-destruct. So instead of self-destructing, the developers coded a thing where it'll just reset the entire thing and then like boom. I mean, the highest round you got to, that's the round you got to, because back to round one, you didn't exactly lose, but the game kind of lost because it literally could not handle you spending another second in that game. Also, I want to return to a previous topic, two of my previous topics. The topics I want to connect into one like bigger topic is Black Ops 1 running kind of like shit on my Steam Deck and the slow connection speed of my hard drives. And I think another reason why a potential reason why my Black Ops also runs kind of bad on my Steam Deck is because I downloaded the game to my hard drive. So maybe the slow connection of my hard drive is making the game run worse. So maybe if I download it straight onto the Steam Deck, it won't run as bad, but honestly, I have the suspicion that it's still going to chug a little bit, but it might help performance, so I might try that out. However, The thing with Call of Duty Black Ops is that it's very particular about the way you install it. It's like there's a very particular way you have to install the Call of Duty games on PC. Like they're fucking split into like a single player portion, and then like it's like they have like a separate game that's like the multiplayer portion. And with some of the games, like Zombies is a different portion, it's a different game. You have to like log into that whole different thing, and I hate how it's set up. It's very cumbersome. Like on console, you don't have to deal with this at all, but on PC, they just have to split it up somehow, and I think it annoys me a lot. But yeah, no, like if you try to like if you try to like move the files to like the hard drive, to like a different hard drive, like the game kind of panics. You pretty much have to like reinstall the entire thing for it not to panic, because like, you know, fucking once you install it in a certain place, the Zombies portion has to be installed in that same place, the multiplayer portion has to be installed in that same place. So you can't be all willy-nilly moving like the Call of Duty Black Ops files around. You have to be very particular. You have to like uninstall the game, reinstall it, do the entire process. You can't take any shortcuts with it, because the game will freak the fuck out and be like, what the fuck am I doing here? What the fuck am I doing here? You know, it's like fucking it's pulling out like a mole out of the ground and like shoving it straight to the sun. It's not gonna know what to do. That's how the Call of Duty Black Ops like installation is set up on Steam. You know, like it's literally not gonna know what to do, and it's gonna start glitching. It's not gonna like start. You're gonna like press play. It's going to immediately quit before anything happens. Very, very annoying game. The only saving grace of Black Ops 1 on Steam in this certain case is that at least it's not fucking 256 gigabytes like big. You know, at least it's not a massive game. So I could install it on my Steam Deck despite having limited storage, because it doesn't take up too much storage. And yeah. I gotta bring up two things of really big note. However, I'm not gonna combine them into a bigger point. These are two separate points. The first point is I really like how like when you kill a bunch of like zombies in this game, like their bodies pile up and you can like physically see their bodies. Now, the game doesn't keep track of every single body. After a certain point, the bodies will disappear, but the game does have an impressive amount of like lying corpses around after like you kill a bunch of zombies. I really love that. In fact, on the PC version, you can actually control how many corpses show up, because I'm sure if you have like a large amount of corpses lying around, that affects performance. So like I'm telling you, not only will I lower the graphics of this game in order to get a smooth 60 FPS, I will lower the graphics of that game on PC to the lowest possible in order to get a massive amount of corpses in an area and still have a smooth 60 FPS. Yes, I sound psychotic. Report me to the NSA. I play violent video games. Oh no. But the second point I wanted to make is, okay, well, I actually forgot. No. The second point is the lack of music in the zombies mode, because pretty much the only thing you're hearing is just the sound of the zombies, which are creepy as fuck. Like the zombie screams are very iconic. They've been used in a lot of memes. Really great ambience and stuff. The sound of your footsteps, the sound of the guns, but there's no music. The only time music pops up is in between rounds. You know, you kind of got a little stinger every time a round begins, a round ends. There's also like I think a certain song that plays whenever you get a specific type of power-ups, like, you know, the little like fire sale. They'll play a nice little like guitar song there. I mean, it has a guitar, right? That song, I think. I hope it does, because if it doesn't, I would be wrong. And the little Jugger-Nog machines, like the little perk machines, all have like their different songs, but besides that, no songs. Also, if you do the Easter egg in this stage, you get to play a copyrighted song. So that's like the only music. But if you don't do any of that, pretty much it's completely silent except for the ambiance, like the sound of the area, like the buzzing of the electricity. It's a really, really great atmosphere. You know, like you can hear the electricity of like this teleporter, just the sounds of the zombies. I guess the one thing that kind of ruins it is all the little one-liners that your main character does. And I gotta say, one little negative about the zombies mode, not a huge one, and honestly it's something which I'm kind of mixed about, but I really think the humor, I don't think it's aged the best. I don't know, these little one-liners, like, you know, they're funny. They're kind of funny, but also they're a little aged bad in the sense that they're a little too lol random for me these days. I don't know. Some of the things that come out of these characters' mouths are a little bit too epic bacon, neon cat, rafflecopter for the modern age. I don't know. It was just that style of humor back then. And some of the things they say are movie references, and well, Call of Duty owes a lot to movies because the Call of Duty campaigns are constantly ripping off movies. I mean, but mind you, I say that, but that's just the thing people say. I don't know exactly which movies Call of Duty is ripping off, but it's definitely taking huge inspiration from a lot of movies. James Cameron should practically be like credited as one of the main creators of Call of Duty for some reason. I'm pretty sure like the Call of Duty games have ripped off a lot of James Cameron movies. Ridley Scott should also get a credit. I believe Call of Duty has also ripped off Black Hawk Down, just a lot of military movies. And, you know, I mean, it's not a horrible thing to do that. I mean, hey, a lot of movies are rip off of a lot of movies, so why can't games do the same? But to be fair, I mean, the great thing about games is that when it's ripping off a movie, it's also giving you the opportunity to play that movie. The movies don't let you play them, but you can play the movie in Call of Duty. Very nice. So, hey, rip off away. But it's always good to be aware of what it's ripping off, and I'm not aware. However, if I ever do a campaign, you know, do like a Call of Duty campaign on Veteran, I'll be sure to mention which movie this campaign is ripping off. And hey, we've reached round 50 now. Does this count as reaching round 50? Because some people might disagree and say that I've only like completed 49 rounds, because in this round 50 I am going to go down. But the reason I do that is because when I go down, it's going to say that I survived 50 rounds. If I reach round 51 and I go down in round 51, it's going to say that I survived 51 rounds, and I just hate the aesthetics of that. I want the aesthetic of survived 50 rounds. That's my Medal of Honor. My Medal of Honor is not surviving 51 rounds, it's surviving 50 rounds. So like, I want the ending of this video to say that. I don't want it to say 51, alright? And also, like, fucking, if I actually complete this round 50, that's going to be another 10-20 minute video. This is going to be over 3 hours long, alright? The video's long enough as it is, so let's just... However, I am going to waste some time in this round 50 to do something very, very silly. I just picked up the Olympia. Wait, did I pick up the Olympia? I mean, I'm not even paying attention to the footage right now, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have some fun, because the fire trap strategy, you know, like, I mean, it gets you to round 50, but it's not the most fun you can have with the game, because when you really let loose and have fun with the game, you immediately die afterwards because you run out of ammo. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I got the fucking Olympia, and now I'm going to pack a punch the Olympia. I'm going to pack a punch the MPL. I'm not sure if I already did that or not. I think I might have already done that. I just wasn't paying attention, because like the Olympia is like I said you're not going to heaven if you have the Olympia, and what do you know? I'm gonna die in this round, and I fucking pack up punch the Olympia, and you're about to see how pointless it is to like pack up punch weapons and like rely on weapons that isn't the Thundergun in these higher rounds. Because like, look how no damage. And here, I just pack a punch the MPL. Look how much fucking damage it deals. It deals no damage. Yeah, you have a higher clip. You like shoot faster. Okay, I guess one sadness about this run of Call of Duty Black Ops is that pretty much if you want to do this strategy, you have to like avoid the double tap perk. Now, mind you, the double tap perk in this game doesn't do too much. It just doubles your fire rate. So like, it makes you shoot faster, which is useful for some strats, but honestly not that useful in this game aside from having a good ass time. Because shooting at double the fire rate is super fun. However, in like future games, I'm told like it has extra properties that make it like much more powerful and much more worth getting. However, if you want to do the fire trap strategy in this game, you really can't get double tap, because the double tap machine is in the alleyway. In order to reach the alleyway, you have to open two doors that you must never open. This is one of the doors that you could open to reach the alleyway, and you have to never open that door if you want to train in the theater well. So anyways, I just ran out of ammo of the MPL, and getting extra ammo costs like what, 4,500 points? Like, just that's not sustainable. I don't even think I earned 4,500 points from wasting all my ammo there. Or maybe I did. I'm not really paying attention to the math. I failed algebra 2, right? Anyways, you heard the Olympia, and guess what? The Olympia pack a punch shooting, it still fucking only shoots 2 shots. That's one of the most pathetic things about the Olympia. It only carries 2 shots, and you have to fucking reload. Like, what a whack ass weapon. Even pack a punch, it's fucking pathetic. I mean, hey, I love the sounds it's making, but like, dude, look at this. It's not doing shit on round 50. Like, my lord. Oh, and there was something else I wanted to mention. I forgot what it was. But yeah, no, to get back to the movie references, I guess another thing to bring up is that one of the one-liners, Dr. Rischen, I forgot his name, German man says, is a reference to There Will Be Blood. He's like, you know, oh, you're suffering. I put my straw in it. Oh, it's okay, yeah. You know, like, that is a reference to There Will Be Blood, little movie reference there, hee hee, haha, like, alright, whatever. I mean, not the worst line ever, but, you know, there we go. Another thing I wanted to mention is, oh damn, I actually forgot what I wanted to mention. But no, I remembered. So I guess one annoying thing about Call of Duty being like a yearly release thing, I don't know if they changed that to like a 2-year release or whatever, is that yeah, they do cut corners in areas, and like if you're not paying attention, maybe those things aren't noticeable. And here I ran out of ammo of everything, so here I'm trying to do like a knife only run. And the thing is, it's possible. See, look at this, it is actually possible. You only take like 1, 2, or 3 hits every time you knife an enemy, and sometimes you don't take any hits, so you could theoretically knife every single zombie to death. It would just take like 200 hours to like complete a single round once you get high enough. Maybe 200 hours on this very round. So here I just decided to kill myself, and I have quick revive, so I'm going to like revive myself, and then I'm going to go in and like pretty much accept my death. But one annoying thing that Call of Duty does in multiplayer is that it has very boring death animations. Like it has the same death animation of like a dude pretty much falling to his knees and dying, even though you're shooting him with a fucking shotgun. Like he should be dismembered, like fucking limbs should be flying all across the room. But no, to save costs, you have the same death animation of dude falls over even though he's being fucking massacred with a weapon of death. But you know, that is my video on zombies. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all then for the next one.